All right, we're live. Hi everyone, so it's Cosmo here. It's been a while, been like almost a year or something since I've actually made a tutorial. And I actually have my sister
Oh my
here.
god, you're so lucky.
Yeah, he's scary.
Hello. I'm here to help because friendly Cosmonaut needed some help from me. Oh my god, I got my phone on.
Oh my god, you're fired. You're so unprofessional.
It's because I just turned it off Do Not Disturb after like 3 weeks of having it on that.
Awesome. Alright.
Alright, I'll get rid of it.
So, yeah, so as I said, it's been a while. Sorry about that.
Lol, sorry.
If any of you have been like following my tutorials in the past or have been hoping for more, I have not had much time on my hands because fortunately I actually have been doing a lot of work with my own game projects. So I'm working with a studio now to make a game, and that has been keeping me very busy on top of other smaller projects in like uni and everything. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, in the meantime, this awesome update has been brewing for a while. It's been in like closed beta for a while, and recently it's been made public. So it's not the official release yet for GameMaker, but yeah, so it's in open beta now. Everyone can go and try it. I don't have a link to it right now, but if you go on Yo-Yo Games, check their Twitter, or I think just their blog, and you can totally get a link to it. It'll be a separate download that you have to install. But once you've got it all set up, it looks quite similar to the old GameMaker, would you say? So, by the way, Scary is a GameMaker user. She's probably hasn't been using it for as long as me, but also uses it and quite enjoys it and is making her own game.
Like, I wouldn't say I'm, an expert in GameMaker, but I'm definitely not an expert, and no, so like,
You're an experienced user. You're a user.
I'm a user. I am a user. I've tried and stuff. And I am making my own little game, which I think we might be using to learn more about the update so that we have an example. So you guys get to see all my crappy work, which is great. I didn't know that was going to be the thing we're using until just this morning, but that's fine. Anyway, but no, I'm excited to learn more about this. And Cosmo has been like, because she's working on her own game with like a studio and everything, they've been going crazy using Structs, and she's just been trying to explain it sort of, but then I was like obviously not getting it, and so we decided to that this would be a good opportunity to like really dive into Structs. So that's definitely on the agenda. So if you guys are keen for that, yeah, that's a spicy little bit of knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, so, by the way, hi everyone coming into the chat. Thanks for being understanding about the dry spell of tutorials. Yeah, it is morning in Australia. It's that's where we are.
I forgot about this, and I just got up, so
yeah,
it was pretty hard.
Yeah.
I have to say.
It's too early. It's 11 a.m.
ASMR.
Huh?
Someone said your videos give them ASMR.
That's funny.
It's because you've got such a lovely voice.
That must be it.
You do speak very, like, I don't know, monotonically and kind of the same, like, volume, which can be, like, quite relaxing. At least it's not, like, really annoying.
Alright, so, yeah, you can convert your project. So, actually, what I've done, I have not been doing anything in Scary's project, so I've literally just, she sent me an exported YYZ file, and I literally just opened it with GameMaker Studio to the beta. And this is what happens. So a little thing will pop up saying stuff is being converted. It looks like nothing has errored for Scary's one. And it should have done all of the conversions, which will probably mostly be scripts if Scary had any scripts.
I do have scripts.
Yeah. So you totally do. So that's one of the biggest things that have changed. So I don't want to. So there have been a few videos people have done on the some of the changes, and I don't want to go through all of them. I kind of want to go through more like meatier examples of...
Well, I wouldn't mind a quick overview of the changes.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give a quick overview of the changes. So it's stuff like so as you can see, this resources panel on the right is a bit different, right?
I didn't really notice, but
well, it is a little bit different. So we have this like quick access thing here. Some stuff has been moved around. So game options, I think, is no longer like a thing down here. It's you have to go into here, and if it's not coming up in quick access, I think you have to go and kind of find it here. As you can see, there's a few other things here. There's like a config editor. You can have different configurations, which probably doesn't... It's hard to explain, but if you're building a game and you want to have like different modes of your project, so say you want a debug mode and just normal mode, like a release kind of mode, and then you want like your console modes and stuff, you can make different configurations here, which can, like, for example, tweak like macros or variables on and off. It's a bit for like a larger project when you want to have different modes of the project, but it's kind of it's hard to explain without an actual use case.
Okay.
It's just catching up with the
Someone
chat.
said you spoke speedily.
Ooh, speedily? Was that just then or in a different tutorial?
Yeah, no. I think just then.
Okay. No worries. No.
I'm sorry. It was like specifically that you can't convert
a
project.
You can convert a project. You should be able to open it. It should just work, as they say. Just open one of your old projects in the beta and it should open and do all the conversions.
Cool beans.
Yep. So again, if anyone is just coming in now, if you go to like the Yo-Yo Games Twitter, in fact, I might just do that quickly.
Wouldn't it be on the website?
It would, but I can't find it there actually.
Oh.
Well, this is taking longer than I thought. Yo-Yo Games 2.3 update. Yeah.
You gonna drop the link?
I'll drop the link in the chat then. Oh, I think Sid did something as well. But yeah, so you go to the downloads page and then it should be in your account. I probably shouldn't do that with my stuff, but yeah. Cool. So yeah, you just hop over there. Okay. All right. Back to the stuff. Right. So yeah, a few of the stuff over here has changed. Okay, let's go into these things over here. So for example, what is first? So I guess one of the biggest things is that assets don't have to be confined to a particular folder anymore. So before we had like distinct...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we had like objects and
So what does that mean? I can just put them all in the sprites or something?
Yep, so we can drag like OBJ camera and like put it in a room for some reason, which is weird.
That's madness.
It is. And you might be thinking, why on earth would I want to do that? But it might be if you want to group, for example, if you had a bunch of assets for your character and you wanted to just have a Scary Moonchild character folder and all of the sprites in there, then yeah, you could totally do that. I have actually not really changed much without big projects because the folders are kind of nice, but that's just also what I'm used to. If you're like a Unity user, it's a similar kind of thing. You can just put stuff wherever you want. There are particular cases where you it just makes sense. Like for shaders or something, you might want to make like or the sprites that work with shaders, just a little module of stuff that work together. You might want to do that.
No, that's true. I think like scripts as well, like feel really random, like annoying. I can never remember like where they pertain to, and that might be better to have like associated with the rest of the stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't organize them very well. Yeah, you can see it's just a list. It's not even that many scripts, but I still can't handle it.
No, that's all good. Alright, so I guess another one is the rooms. So before, it was really important what room you had first, because that was the first room that you load into. But actually, if we can sort this by... I've forgotten how to do it. Ugh. Yeah, so if you click on here, you can sort it not in alphabetical order, but like back to custom order. So that might be a thing you notice has changed when you open up your folder, it's no longer in the order that you put it in. So if you want to put it back to like that, you can say custom order, and then it'll be...
Oh, of the folders themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything within it. So like now...
Oh, yes. I remember sprites are at the top.
Yeah, so that's how GameMaker used to do it. But I've kind of gotten used to it. I actually do like it being in alphabetical order.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is, like, I don't know, it took me like a day to adjust, and I ended up liking it, so that's good. Yeah, but you can sort through any of these. You can type in a resource, so if I'm looking for SPR...
Oh my god, this
whatever.
would have made things so much easier.
So this is very cool. Yeah, and so with the rooms, if I was in the custom order thing, right? So this one doesn't have to be the first one, so if I drag this one up here and I wanted to start in the town, it'll still jump into here or whatever.
Oh, you put a little house on it. Is that...
Yeah, you put a little house on it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so you have to come into the room manager, and then you have to drag it, I think, up here. So, oops. Like that.
And you drag it in the order in there.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter now, like, what order your resources are, which is cool.
Ah.
Yeah.
So what have I got it in now?
It's... What do you mean?
What order have I got it in?
I put it back into alphabetical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we did that at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry. We'll try to speak more slowly.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I haven't done anything important yet. I wish they did, like, live captioning or something. That might be good.
Yeah. Just, obviously, you know, maybe even just in the chat, you can ask, if you didn't hear someone, I'm sure someone can help you as we go. Yeah,
there might have already been a search bar, but I think I never used it. I don't know, I feel like this is new, actually. I've forgotten what the old one looks like. Did that used to be there?
Oh. See, I would be the type of person that wouldn't have noticed, so...
Yeah.
I don't think so. I feel like I would have used it if it was there, but... Hi, guys.
Hi, Victor. Alright, actually, before I dive into script stuff, we're talking a bit too fast. Okay, so more... Okay. Yeah, so actually, when we do get into the code, there's a lot of nice code quality of life stuff that's changed.
Alright, cool. You want to just ask, is anybody, like, before we start, just randomly
just have
topics?
a question about...
No, just, I don't have... Oh, I do, but, like...
Is that mine? No, all good.
Just does anybody else have any, like, topics they want covered here? Like, any little questions of the new stuff?
So I should say... Stuff that I probably am not going to go over because I haven't done it at all is sequences, which are really cool, but they are like they're it's stuff to like play with sprites, and I think you can even have like little sequences of movements and stuff, but it's for kind of scripted, and by scripted I mean like a play, if you're scripting like a sequence of stuff that's happening,
like a cutscene,
kind of, yeah. So if I wanted like a I don't know, someone to jump up into the air, do a spin, or even UI, like if I wanted to do like a button press and have a sequence of transformations that are applied to that. But that is like UI design, and I hate that, so I have not really used it. It looks cool. I'm excited to see someone do that, but I'm probably not going to go into that because I haven't used it myself.
Faulty
says,
please
they want to know about the creamer.
No.
Yeah. That's the good stuff on the copy. Okay, we're going to jump in. I guess.
We are native to native.
Well,
I mean, oh my god. We have lived here all our lives, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And no,
So another thing I might do about the resource tree, that is really handy in code is you can apply tags to things. So if I let's
do it.
Yeah. So if I want to apply a tag, right click, and then I can. Oh, I think I need a tag first. So edit tags. Wait, hold on. I need a tag.
Do them to my scary ones. Oh, actually, no, wait. Do it to my characters. Look, there's an OBJ friendly cosmonaut.
Man, I've forgotten how to do it.
Just do one. Edit tags. Add a tag.
Maybe I just have to make one. Okay, so we could go like
just do like boring stuff.
Alright, boring stuff.
Yes.
Cool. So now I think that should exist, and I can put that on like game.
You knew what I meant. Stuff without a sprite. Yeah, and the text box down the bottom.
Yeah.
You guys who love Cosmo, Cosmo's tutorials will be very familiar with OBJ text box.
It's true.
And yes, I used Cosmo's tutorials to make it. Instead of her just helping me, I had to watch her tutorial. No, that's not true. She helps me.
Nah, you did that yourself. Alright, so, but yeah, and then they'll come up down here. So actually, that example that we gave is probably not a very practical one. But for example, you might want to say like depth objects, and then tag all the objects that are going to be used in the depth system. And then in the code, you can go and say, I want to get all of those.
Ooh, you can access that from the code. That's cool. Wait, so what would you do? And then what? And then what can you do?
So you could put that into a list or something, and then instead of getting them all manually, like with a parent or something, which is what I do.
So I could get like all the like people.
Yeah,
that
all
could
the characters.
Be good as.
Yeah, exactly. You can do what we do, for example, in rooms. We have like initialization rooms, and we have actual game rooms, or we have like outside rooms that have different rules to inside. So like I can plant outside, but not inside, so I can check if I'm in an outside room.
Oh, and you're using the tags to do that. That's cool.
So they're really cool. It's like
Can you give an example of how to write that?
Oh man, I think we'll have to go into scripts. I will once we've done some of the script stuff. But yeah, it's like it's something like asset get tag, and then you go and use that. So that's very cool. Yeah. All right. I think we can start actually jumping in. Let me just catch up with the chat. Yeah, you can individually color stuff. So like if I wanted to...
no way, what? How'd you do that?
Pink, so right click and then...
oh my god!
Yeah, I think actually that was already in there, but I don't think you could do this. Like it didn't appear on the right click. You had to, I think, go into like preferences and do it a little bit more manually.
That's so cool, oh my goodness.
So yeah, again, useful for grouping stuff. I think I don't do it, but... I wish I did. Like sometimes I see people's projects that have done it really nicely, and that's very nice. All right. Sid says internally sprites are actually now sequences. Oh yeah, the sprite editor has changed.
Let's do a sprite.
Right. Let's go to a character one.
Do Cosmo.
Cosmo. Okay, let's go to Cosmo. So you can see it's a little different.
Yes, it is. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. So the thing at the top is kind of gone, which is I think is good because it was like I don't know, kind of like redundant information, and it's like really cleaned up, and I think it looks really nice now. Yeah, so same, very similar stuff. You can't like double click on a frame to go into the thing anymore. You have to go to edit image, which honestly I find more clear, so there's not multiple.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying. I always just ended up accidentally clicking in there.
Yeah, and you can mess up the origin and stuff. So that's harder now. You can't just like click and then the origin moves.
Why is the origin there? I guess that's okay.
Yeah, that's where the depth is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Collision mask and everything's still very similar. To move it.
Oh, except for that stupid thing about what is it? It annoyed me because I accidentally did something weird.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. So if you rotate it, like I had a collision box, and
you would still have to probably do. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, and you have to click rectangle with rotation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you still have to do that. You would still have to.
Oh, was that the same for the old one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, that was just a really annoying thing that I learned recently.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna rotate the thing, yeah, obviously that's
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, I don't know why that hasn't come up with more people.
Oh, I've seen a few people. So Scary is talking about when you if you rotate a sprite and it has a rectangle collision in game and you rotate it, the collision won't necessarily rotate.
It doesn't.
Yeah, unless you have it set to this. So you can get weird behavior where you're expecting to collide. Anyway, but those are still the same. They haven't like updated any of the collision types.
Okay. So just if you want to rotate your things and have the collision actually stick to it, I just assumed that would be a thing. Like, why would you not want that? Who would not want that?
Well, it means it's like computationally less.
Yes, I know.
Mm-hmm. So like for us, we don't use any.
Can you do a triangle collision mask?
Unfortunately not. It's still, it's still this stuff.
You can do a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that's stupid. No, don't do that. I know I said that.
Okay, so anyway, with the stuff in here, one cool thing that you can do, so if I run, hold on, let's get this. It's not going to be super clear on this one. Let me see what you got. This is a good example. Okay, so you have a bunch of frames here that are the same frame, right? Mm-hmm. Because you wanted it to idle for a second, right? So I think all of these...
Oh, you can just change the individual frame length now?
Yes, you can. So I'll delete that and I can... It's a little finicky to get it, but yeah. So you can just drag it, and now when I play this, so it's...
Well, you gotta put one back in between them. Wait, how did I have it? I can't believe you just deleted all of them without counting.
Just control delete.
That was the...
Wait, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a lot. Okay. So I'll delete those ones then.
Man, why did I do it like that?
That's... No, you had... Oops.
No, but I mean like with 3 at the start and then like 6 at the end.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Alright. Damn it.
So you're just dragging it to be the length.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a little finicky to get the thing, but it's still very cool.
That is cool. I'll have to do that. I'm going to write down a little list for myself to do.
Yeah.
My list is going to be add colors to everything.
Yeah. All the tags and stuff. Yeah, so that's probably it for sprites. I think you can even have, yeah, so you can ping pong and stuff, and that will be, like, now, I think, supported in the sprite itself. I mean, when you put it in game.
That's actually, leave it as that. I like it doing that.
Okay. There you go.
Cool.
Oops. Cool. Alright, cool. I think we can move on to object stuff. Okay, so if you have the free trial, I actually don't know if you can get the beta yet.
Mm.
Because I think it's only open to, like... That would be my guess. I haven't heard that discussed, actually.
Are we hiding our cursor?
Oh, no. We might be. Hold on. That is very annoying. How do I change that? Can you see a hide cursor tick?
I thought it was like really...
Oh, it's here. Hide cursor.
Oh, it was hidden. Alright, try it. Can you guys see the cursor now?
I still can't see it. Hold on.
We'll get you guys a cursor.
Hold on.
Maybe. So how's everyone doing?
Yeah, while I Google stuff, you just... Yeah.
I'll tell everyone about me. No, that's... You guys... What are you guys up to today?
They can't respond, though.
Yes, they can. What do you mean? You know what I'm up to today? I don't know. Nothing. What are you up to, chat?
Oh, I fixed it. I got it. And you proofed it, didn't you?
Oh, look, a cursor, guys!
Yeah, okay, we fixed it.
Well, that was a great conversation. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. Not.
Alright, we'll continue. I don't know if there's anything that's changed with fonts. Yeah, but there's probably, like, little things that have changed. Otherwise... Yeah, stuff being moved to new folders and stuff, all of that. Okay, so let's move on to the actual fun scripty stuff.
Well, I found that fun.
Alright, well that's good. Let's jump into... Maybe we'll look at an object. So I'll look at the script. So just to show you like what's happened when we import a new project. So if I head over to this one, you'll see that it's now like wrapped in a function.
Oh. Wait, what?
So let me just increase this a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all of the code that you had before. But no worries, Folsy. Thanks for coming for the start. Always good to have you. Oh, thank you, Fire. Yeah, I wish I could have some time to make more. All right. Yep. So we have all of our old code would have been this, except for that one. That's an extension. Actually, yeah. By the way, if you have GM Live, I don't know if Yal has updated it for 2.3, but it probably will have broken. But that's what that is. Okay. So functions. That is one of the biggest new changes. So do you know what a function is?
Yes, I know what a function is. It's something you put arguments into and then it does something and returns something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nailed it.
It's pretty good. So it's not dissimilar to the way we were already thinking about scripts. Oh, hold on. Wait, can you make sprites hold frames for different lengths of time?
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah.
They probably just missed it.
Yeah.
I guess.
So hopefully you can jump back like 30 minutes in the... oh, I see. So you couldn't see where I was dragging with the thing. Okay, let me quickly just hop back to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry. It's like here. And you just... Oh. Here. Oh, man.
Your mouse is stupid.
Oh, you
just drag the other one. That's fine.
All right, fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So we do... Oh, man. See...
Wow.
I don't know why it's hard. Okay, yeah, like that. I don't know why it's a little bit difficult to click that at the moment, but yeah, you just to increase and decrease the frame length. Okay. Hopping back to this.
GML Live is out for 2.3.
Oh, is it?
Nice work to them.
Okay. So, yeah, well, as I was saying, with a script kind of worked as a function for us before. It's like a place where we can put code to be called later.
Yep.
Except before, these were, well, they still are, actually, scripts. They were global in scope, which means they could be called anywhere. So even though this, right here, state scary dash, presumably it was for the scary objects, right? And not really intended to be used by anyone else, it's still kind of put in a global area, which doesn't sound bad, but technically, like, that shouldn't be able to be used by other things. It's like, it should be owned by the scary character, but that's what we had to do in the past. Like, we had to have everything be global.
So wait, but what's wrong with doing that?
Well, if something else calls it, it's going to error, probably. Because, like, probably other objects don't have, like, dash speed.
Okay.
And it's not so much that they ever would, because, like, probably...
It's just like a loose end.
Yeah, and, like, it's more like if I don't call it state scary dash, if I'd called it state dash, and then I get my names mixed up with another object and I put that in by mistake, it's just, like, it's more,
risky.
Yeah.
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 Like if you accidentally auto-typed or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I get that. It's more the elegance of the whole system.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff with a lot of things that like programmers get very excited about that seems like they're being real sticklers for, like, I want this to be a private variable and, like, it's of a Boolean type and stuff. It sounds like it's unnecessary, and that's why GameMaker simplifies a lot of it. But actually, when you get a large project, it's so that you can force yourself not to make an error, because
Nice.
if that variable has to be a Boolean and you accidentally set it to something else, your compiler will catch it much easier than if you run into the mistake kind of down the line.
Right, and it's funny because I've realized now that I've been coding, and for anybody who, well, I'm assuming everybody is a coder here, so that's cool, but, like, I'm sure we've all had about 1 bazillion mistakes, and that is just, like, that is coding, right? That's like your bread and butter, and like, I find it interesting listening to you whenever you're using me as, like, a rubber ducky to just tell me, like, this is the problem I'm having today. I find that, like, you're trying to, like, you're always like, can you think of any possibility where this would not apply? Like, can you think of any exceptions?
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to like scope out possible mistakes and make mistakes impossible, and you're very like annoying about it.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Like I'm learning to appreciate that, just because the more that you learn about code, the more comfortable you are with like all the stuff in GameMaker or anything. Like obviously the less mistakes that you'll make, and it's just from like practicing, but it's also like that kind of how you're setting up the system, and you're not making those little mistakes where you have things being accessible when they shouldn't be, and stuff, because like that literally could lead to mistakes. So that's just cool. It's cool, like risk management, you know, like relation, and how that's actually very interesting, and having like leaving out little what are they called, like things that can vary. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. You know, when you it's basically like having lots of loose ends, but it's like where things can vary. Like God,
you mean like variables?
Degrees of freedom.
Okay.
Yes. Having all these unnecessary degrees of freedom, and how that's really bad for like impending disaster. Yeah.
So I am getting a little ahead of myself. Well, we are getting a little ahead of ourselves in talking about this, because I haven't really explained why. So to be clear, we don't have actual types of variables in GameMaker yet, in GML. I don't know if we will in the future. That's more of a JavaScript.
Do you mean functions?
No, types like Boolean, like declaring that something is like a bool, some number.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that, but no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
You can check if something is, but no, so that's not a thing yet. But that's the kind of stuff. But yeah, we can have like kind of private functions, quote unquote. Now that which is kind of similar, but so we'll get into it more.
I never thought about it like that. Like, oh, that's why people want to use that. Because I was doing some code in RStudio, because I do like some research stats sometimes for fun, and just the fact that there's all these variables, there's like booleans and the
and exactly, and you might anyway. I'll come back to it.
I just like that as a thought of like, oh, okay, that's actually minimizing the errors and stuff. Okay, that's actually that makes me feel better about the fact that there's like all of these kinds of variables, and I'm just like, why is there so many? Okay, interesting, cool.
That's why I think like having known this and like looking at other languages and coming back to this, it's easier to learn something that doesn't have so many things that you have to specify. But okay, let's power on. Let me just catch up with the chat.
RStudio,
RStudio. Oh yeah, it's a science thing, because Scary's actually
Scary's actually a scientist.
Yeah, just doing game dev as a hobby, but more of a stats nerd, sorry. Okay, anyway, I'm going back to functions. So yes, functions do have a scope now.
Okay.
So because we are in a global scope right now, which is what a script is, this function will be global. So which means I can call it anywhere. I can call it in OBJ Scary. I can call it in.
Where do you set the scope?
So it will depend where you declare the function. It will be
where I declare it. So wait, it's declared. It's just changed every script to a function.
Yes.
It has done that.
Yeah.
Okay, and so where else can I make a function? I can just do that anywhere in any object.
Yep. So we can head over to, what's your main character?
Scary is in the middle for some reason. Down, it's alphabetical, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't see it because it's like dark. All right.
I had to use RStudio for one semester. It's great.
So right here, we can do it in the create event. So you might want to do it in the create event. What we do sometimes with our in our project, you can call the function name now. Yes, you can declare multiple functions in the script. I'll get to that in a second. So it doesn't matter where you call it. So you might want to dump them all in here, in a user event, or in the create. Oops, sorry.
Does calling
the script execute every function top to bottom? Okay, so no, you don't really. Actually, I don't know if you do that really, because so if I make it, let's make a new one actually. Script, and I can call this like anything I want, like scary stuff.
Scary's awesome.
Or you might want to call it like scary class. It doesn't really matter. It's like a little. It's just an area to declare stuff now. A script. It's not as far as I understand it. It doesn't like do anything itself. It'll automatically do this for you, but as far as I understand it, you can think of it like if global dot, because that's how we make globals in the past. So you type global dot and like name equals whatever. This global, you can think of it kind of like an object, right? So if
okay, like it's a global object.
yeah,
sure.
So and that's kind of
and everyone's like a child of it.
No.
Okay.
No, it's like it's literally like an object. So I could have called that. It could be game.
But wait.
I'm just saying, like, think of global like an object, and that these scripts are like little code bits in it. Like that's how we get to the global object. Anything that we do in here, if I literally do this, this declares a global variable.
Oh, okay.
So elsewhere, I can access name in Scary, and I would have to say.
Do you have to write global dot?
Yes.
Oh.
So it's the same, because if I had to get Scary's name, I would do that. So it's the same kind of stuff.
It's just weirdly like not obvious though.
Yes, I know. Yeah. So that it's a different way of thinking now. Because scripts, it kind of feels like they've because of how scripts used to use, like we can't just like kind of delete them because all the projects would break. But it's kind of like this weird in between phase of. Yeah.
So they want. What, you think they'll get rid of scripts?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But it's just an odd. It's still useful though, because you might want to. This is the place to declare global functions. If I want other.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, like it would. I was always kind of like, I don't have many global functions. I don't even know if I have any variables that are global. But like, I wouldn't know where to do it. I would just be like, oh, so I can do it anywhere. But like, where would I do it? Like, I have to remember where to do it. I guess in the game object or something.
Yeah, exactly. So Leandro says it's basically like a class from Java where it holds a bunch of related but still separate functions. That's how I would think of it too. So I would put now, and this is literally just me and our project and how we have adapted to using 2.3. That's exactly what we do. Like for example, we have like an item class and then all the functions to do with items in there. Like declaring an item, using an item, a lot of those will be in the item class. But that's just one way to organize it. You can kind of still do what you had before. So like I said, you can have so it could be like item new item.
Is there any performance impact having functions as global scope versus not? Is that more of the sort of elegant layout thing as to why you would do this, or does it actually have some sort of concept?
Yeah, it's more that you
don't want to have stuff global when it doesn't have to be.
Yes, and it's also that so like with the Scary dash, we can get rid of Scary from everything now. We don't need Scary. We can grab all of these things. I mean, you should, by the way, and put them into Scary now.
Grab all. I'm just writing a list of things to do. Grab all me Scary scripts.
So actually, we could just do that. So I could grab. Let me grab.
Oh, she's doing it for me. Yes. Sounds good.
And I'm gonna get rid of this.
Okay, so you're just putting it. Yeah. Cool.
Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that yet. Hold on.
Wait, just leave it.
Is that what it was called? No. Scary dash.
Yeah.
So we can grab all of these. Oop. Whoops. Oh, I stuffed it. Hold on.
Parsimonious. That's what I was trying to remember. You want to be parsimonious with all of your variables.
Do you want to just read the chat for me while I'm...
Yep, so they were just saying, somebody just asked if their scripts will be affected by the 2.3 update, and then everybody replied, should be fine, they're just getting wrapped, it shouldn't affect anything.
Yeah, so I can, if I run the game, and I probably should have done that, everything would have worked perfectly. It's still... Because, like, nothing's changed technically if you leave everything as it is.
The code's, like, the same. It's still, like, just writing the same stuff. It's just a function now instead of a script. Yeah,
so if I run this, unless you have something that is ever accessing this, it should just work.
So wait, where did you put all that?
So I put it in the
you
create
put it
event.
in my create event. Okay.
Of scary.
Oh man, my game's gonna. Okay, the Vivian one.
State.scary.
Oh, does it have to be made afterwards?
Oh, okay. So this is a thing. In other languages, it doesn't really matter where you put the function; it'll still be able to get it. But because this thing right here is trying to.
Oh, it's not made yet.
Yeah,
so you have to put that up the top.
You do. So another thing you might want to do, that you can do, sorry, is like.
Because I have a little state machine here for all my different characters, like dashing and running and whatever.
So if you don't want that, like, if you don't want all the functions clogging up the create event, what you can do is, like, you can put it in a user event, and I can call this, like, this can be my place for all of my private functions for scary, so, like, all of my functions could go here, and then I can call up the very top, perhaps, so that they are made before anything else. So event user 0.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah. So it should work now.
I'm just hoping, like, I don't have... there's another script.
Oh, okay, so the way that we've...
God.
Okay, this is not going to be a good example then. It's because of the way that you're using the states, I think. Where is your...
Sorry, guys.
No, this is starting to be an issue that's external to...
This is just the way I've set up my game.
Yeah. I'm going to undo it. I'm going to pretend that worked, but it's because you're using a state machine.
Yeah. Which is it just the order of things?
No, I think it's I'm not sure what you're doing, but you might be like trying to access this state as a function, or you might try to be... where are we? Scary. Anyway, I'm going to run the game and just see if it works, just in case we do anything. Oh
no. So much for this not breaking all the games.
Oh, it's because I've done this. Okay. No, that's alright. It's because I was moving everything around. No, we got it now. It's all good. Oh, no, okay, we should be fine. But it is nice that it has these...
Errors, yeah. They're very descriptive.
It tells you exactly where you need to go.
That is nice.
Let's hope it did it stuff up. Man. What have I done? Oh, I still have all these pasted in here. Alright, now it'll work. Okay. It's just because I had duplicate scripts everywhere. Okay. Here we go.
Oh my god, please ignore my weird thing. I forgot I did that.
How do we dash?
D.
D. Nice. Ooh.
Ah.
Was that happening before?
No.
Well, let's assume that was your fault, and that's all good.
Anyway, let's move on.
So yeah, I don't know. Like you might find weird. I think they were, for example, when we updated the.
Yes, exactly. This is why people don't update projects mid-project without a good reason.
Yeah. Which we did, by the way, with our big, enormous game project, just because, like...
It's because you guys are seasoned professionals.
Honestly, yeah.
Stay humble, guys.
Just because we were so familiar with all of the updates and we really wanted the new functionality, and it was, like, kind of stable. There was bugs that we encountered, but we kind of knew what we were doing about them. It was things as, like, the accessor stuff wasn't working, like when you do, like, array 0, 1, which, by the way, you can do now, so if you wanted to... Yeah.
Wait. What, can't you just write 0 to 1 or something? Like 0... Why would you do it like that? Yeah, like, can't you just do that?
All right. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, yeah. Can I just write it like that?
What do you mean?
As in, you just wrote it in a different way. I've never seen it like in the double way. You just
sorry. So all 2D arrays are gone now. This is not a valid thing now, I think.
Ah, so okay. Oh wait, but that's like saying the sorry. I actually meant doing something like this, like 0 to 1.
Oh, perhaps. So you're thinking in RStudio?
Yeah, I guess so. That's what we do. Like
yeah.
To access like the 0 to nth stuff inside of the vector or something maybe.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the same. So that's like you have, so if I have an array like array 0 equals a, whoops. Oh, this isn't going to work. It's if you have a 2D array. So if I have an array and then an array inside that, so array and then, like that. And then I wanted to access like 6, right? I can write array 0 and then 2.
Oh wait, do that again. Sorry, sometimes I miss things.
No, that's alright. So
sometimes I picture little birdies.
No, that's all good. So this is that's my thing that I've got. So in the first entry of array.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I've got another array.
Okay, sorry.
And then
no,
that's all good. And then in this one, we've got 1. And say I now want to access 6. Right? How do I get to that? Well, before we had to go like, so like subarray, whoops, equals array 0, and then I had to go subarray 2, and then that would get me 6. You see? Because I have to first I have to get this array, and then I have to go like that.
Oh, okay.
Right, so it was a little bit annoying to have to just do this all the time.
Yeah, that's a bit
so
weird.
Instead of that, now I can actually just do this.
Oh, okay, so it's in the 0th part, I want the second element.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's a and they've gotten rid of, they'll be deprecating.
That's so stupid that they
arrays.
didn't have it like that.
I suppose. Yeah, it's good now.
It's like unintuitive.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that extends to data structures. So
okay.
These are called chained accessors. Yeah, so say same with data structures. If I had a grid,
you said that weird. You're like, if I had a grid.
Sorry. Thank you for that.
That's alright.
Alright, and say I had an array in the grid and I wanted to get to the first entry. You can chain all of these things together, presumably for as long as you want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it makes just getting to things a lot easier. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so am I going too fast? We were still talking about functions. Oh yeah, we were talking about scope in functions. Right, so that this is in a global scope and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so if I wanted to, let's do an example. So let's say I wanted to have all of my objects get attacked and do something when they get attacked.
Okay.
So let's say Scary has, I don't know, Scary has a sword, we can hit them and then, sorry, we can hit a bad guy and the bad guy will react in some way, or, yeah. So we might have, for every single object like that, we might have like take damage. And it might take in a damage.
Sure.
So we can say like damage.
Make it flash red.
Yeah, something like that. So that's how we do it. We say like, okay, well this is going to be a function, it's called take damage, and it will take in a parameter. We don't have to take in any arguments. Functions can just do stuff, you know? So it might be take damage, and it might not take in an argument, it might always know to just go health.
Yeah, okay.
Except you wouldn't use health because health is a built-in variable, so HP minus equals 5. It might do that every single time, or 1.
Okay. Assuming everyone has a HP.
Yes. Right. And so yeah, and then, but that means like if I go into Ratboy can't call take damage.
He can't?
He can't. If he tries, it will error. So let's give it a go.
I don't know if Ratboy's even in that town yet.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're recording the stream. I think it should be posted later.
Yeah, I was thinking we might
may have to edit out some stupid bits. But
yeah, like what happened before? The cursor wasn't showing up.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so Rat Boy's in here. Hopefully not a duplicate.
Health 2.
Health 2. Yeah, that's
what?
Yeah. I don't like HP as a variable name, and I was so annoyed that health is a built-in variable.
Oh my god!
I don't know anyone who uses health.
That's so good.
So I called it health 2, and I'm like, because I think the way that it was because it was inside a struct, and you're supposed to be able to use built-in variables inside of structs. I'll get to that. But it wasn't letting me. It was saying like, oh, this is, you're not allowed to use this. So I was like, fine, I'll call it health 2 until I can replace it.
That's very petty.
Alright, anyway, so let's prove this. So I think it still comes up as it recognizes that this is a function, but yeah. So let's head back to my scary here. Cool. Let's run this. Wait, sorry. Scary doesn't have a... Okay.
Wait, I don't know if the Rat Boy is in the room. Oh, doesn't matter.
So this is what I wanted. It's saying, it's doing the classic error of this variable doesn't exist within this context, is what this is saying.
Variable take damage. Isn't it a function?
Oh yeah, technically, but...
Okay. What's the difference between... Oh, well, no. I'm not... I'll take it back.
Okay. Yeah, but it's saying the Rat Boy doesn't have a thing called take damage. It's not a variable, not a function. I've got no idea what this is. I'm Rat Boy, I don't know what this is.
I'm Rat Boy. I'm a simple boy.
Yeah. What I could do is I could go obj scary dot, and then it'll work. Because this belongs to scary.
Oh, so it's like, go to scary, get this function.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So I'll run it to prove it, but
need to get Scary's permission.
Actually, we can talk about an important thing. So you'll notice, you might be wondering, why did this work? Because actually,
oh, Rat Boy doesn't have any HP.
Yeah, Rat Boy doesn't have HP, so why did this work, right?
It's accessing Scary's one.
Well, exactly.
Ooh.
It is indeed. So remember, this function is in the context of Scary. So when I call this...
Even the stuff inside the function is with respect to Scary?
Yes. Exactly. So it is running the function in the scope of Scary. So it's kind of said, like, with obj Scary, do your function. Right? So Rat Boy's not doing it. Rat Boy doesn't...
What if Rat Boy does have HP? It just still...
It won't matter. So if I say HP equals... whatever, and then I do show debug message HP afterwards, it will hopefully come up with this number still. Oh, why did I do that?
Yeah, wait, what do you mean? You mean like in the function? Yeah, you want to put that in the function, don't you?
No, so I'm looking at what...
No, as in show debug message. Oh, wait.
What?
As in like put that...
No, I'm proving that this is not going to take away Rat Boy's health. You know what, we're going to put 0 because that number's too big. So it should be -1 if it...
Wait, isn't that just going to show Rat Boy's HP?
Yeah. I'm proving that it's not going to change.
Oh, okay, I'm an idiot, sorry.
So what we can do...
I got it, guys, I'm there.
And then I'll, oh no, I'll just do this.
Rat Boy is just the rat's name, and it's because I didn't think of a name for that was the first one. If you guys can think of a better name, that would be great. He's like a mean rat.
Yeah.
Please come up with a name for him.
There you go. Alright. So you can see it's 0, right?
Oh yes.
So it did not change. Cool. So that is important. So whatever place you declare a function is where...
So what if it's global, if you put it in the script, then it's just going to be with respect to them.
So if I had put that exact same thing in a global script, so let's do that. Let's cut and paste it into, doesn't matter where, it can be any of these, we can put it here. And we'll head back to Rat Boy. We should be able to just do this now, and then when we show debug message HP, it will hopefully show us -1. There we go.
Yay!
Because that is now a global function. So
Ratboy 2, that's the suggestion. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Let's call everything is whatever 2. Alright. Oops, sorry, this thing's moved a bit. Alright.
Cool. Alright. Next topic.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fix the microphone stand. Alright. Alright, okay. So to continue, let's, instead of having this be automatic, I want to have an argument.
Cool. Love it.
Right. So before, I think the way that scripts worked, we had like argument, whatever. Like 2, we had these things, and you can still use those. And they're good if you have like optional arguments. I don't think there's like a way to ignore ones that you specify in here, but we can, so say for example, we have damage, and we can call that whatever we want. So I could have called that, whoops.
Oh, so that's like the damage that you want to be, if you want to specify.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the argument, and I can give, it's kind of like saying var bean equals argument 0, but it's doing that automatically. So whatever I put here is going to be an optional, sorry, what's it called? A temporary variable.
Oh, you just can't say that word,
function.
can you?
Temporary variable. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's now we can use it in here, and we can have as many of those as we want. So really complicated scripts are now going to be a lot easier to use because you don't have to declare all the temporary variables here. We can just have them be the
So, and you could do like 5, like you could do the color, do bean, yeah.
So yeah, the color that we want it to take damage as, the so the damage amount, the skill that it might put a modifier on the damage, like if our defense skill or something.
Yep.
Actually, that's a bad example, but maybe our object name or something, because we want like to show a pop-up saying like we took 5 damage.
Yep.
Anything you want, so you can put as many as you want in here, and then we can use them.
If you don't use them, does it get annoyed?
I think so. I think you do have to use them if they're specified here. We can try it.
Can you do optional arguments?
So I think you can't. I think you have to do the old system. So if I have, let's say I take it.
Why is that called a bean? That's just the the name we use when we can't think of a word. Just reverts to bean.
Yeah, that's like my temporary name, temporary variable name.
Lol, yeah. That's cute.
Yeah. All right. So
inside of Cosmo's brain, it's like trying to locate a word. It's just like use
bean.
the temporary variable.
Yeah. Okay. So
gets annoyed if you don't provide them, but not if you don't use them. Okay. Right.
All
that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah. So if I did this and let's see what happens. Actually.
Like, because I'm just thinking of like if you don't specify an argument, it'll just use a default.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Okay, that seemed to work. Interesting.
You have to make it mandatory and then reference the argument array somewhere in the function.
Hold on, so we put in these 3, which is those 3, and we didn't put in bean, but also we didn't use like any of these. Alright, maybe it's changed.
I think that's all Lazy just said. It was, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
You just have to put them in. Although we didn't put in bean. But I guess you didn't use bean, so it doesn't care?
Yeah, perhaps. So if I tried to say like, bean equals,
it'll use undefined. Okay.
Let's have a look.
Bean.
In fact, I think it's complaining already.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay, hold on. Var bean2 equals. I'm sorry, I have to stop. Okay, tree. Wait, no.
No, use bean2.
Num equals 5, and let's go num plus equals bean.
Yeah. GM doesn't know what it likes, doesn't know what it wants, has to figure itself out for a bit.
Alright,
going solo.
So yeah, we didn't put the thing in, so it's going to complain, blah. We can, so yeah, we can check like if argument count is bigger than 3, and then, yeah. Sorry, bigger than 2. Wait, 3, yeah. And only then do it. And that's how you can use optional arguments.
So if it's bigger than 3, then just set it to thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Interesting, so perhaps I still have to go... What have I done? Okay, well that works. Okay, and Lazy says we can check if it's undefined and then set it to something. I mean, like, yeah, so it'd be nice if that like wasn't so annoying, and maybe this is something that's going to change a little bit. So if we say bean, and then we put here, we can check if bean is undefined. So this is coming from Lazy. And it doesn't like that, Lazy. What have you done?
It's,
I don't really see what's wrong with this. Alright, let's try this. Bean equals undefined... What is this, Lazy? Writing this... Okay, bean equals... By the way, this is the same as... this is, unfortunately, like... Do you understand what this means? So we're saying, like, if bean equals... We're setting bean, and we first ask a question, so we say, is argument 3 undefined?
So is name... Or is it bean? Sorry,
is bean undefined.
Right.
So that's what this means, this ternary... Is that what it's called? Ternary operator? Is asking this question first. If this is true, then we will set it to argument 3.
Set it...
Sorry, if it is not equal to undefined...
Then set it to equal 0?
Then we will set it to 3. So if bean is not undefined. So if it is defined, then we set it to argument 3, the thing that we input. If it is not defined, if it is undefined, then we set it to 0.
Okay, if it is undefined, yes.
Yeah, so we're asking, like, if bean is
undefined, that is very annoying.
Arg3. We could have done... Okay, we could have done if bean is equal to undefined...
Nah, Lazy, it's all good, it's good.
Else bean equals argument... 3, but that's a, like a faster way of kind of writing that out, but that's what it means.
Wait, what's faster? The first one.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
That's just like a nice way of writing it.
Yeah.
But it's a little incomprehensible the first time you do it.
Sorry, it's just because I'm slow.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. No. So basically you can do it. It's just very like on you.
This bit will be edited when we upload it later.
No, it's all good. We're figuring it out together.
Alright, anyway,
yes, bosses are allowed to bully their underlings.
Yeah, that's the rules.
No.
Alright, where were we up to? We were talking about scope of stuff. We haven't even gotten to structs yet.
Oh, we're gonna dive into structs.
Let's dive into structs. So that's functions. That's the basic of how functions work. So like I said, like you can now define take damage individually in objects, so they can all do their own thing. It could be a global thing. You might want that to be global for some reason, but you might want. I think it's nice to start thinking of objects internally. Sorry, as their own kind of encapsulated things, where if we tell object to take damage, so external, like Scary hits an object, all of our objects have a defined function called take damage. All Scary will have to do, if we hit an object somewhere, so if we collide with an, I'm just gonna make this up. So pseudocode, if we hit an object, and we just tell that object to go like inst.take take damage. You know, it's very nice. Like, we don't have to know anything about the object. We don't have to put in any arguments. I'm saying so if that actually didn't have arguments, because it was internal and the rat boy always knew what it was doing. You know,
Yeah. And wait, so... And that would be like run it in its scope, right?
Yep.
Cool.
It's one sprite index equals take rat boy damage sprite. You know, all that stuff. So they all have their own versions of this, and they all do the stuff that makes sense for them. And Scary doesn't have to know about any of it. She just tells them to run that.
Do it yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that is very nice. Like, the more our objects don't touch each other, like the less with statements that we have everywhere. So like, if we do that...
I'm just laughing in the chat.
What?
Sorry, my bad. I keep
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, Lazy's like, my resume when I applied to Mystery, I had friendly cosmonauts.
Yeah.
Did it actually?
That's pretty funny.
Sorry, keep going.
Nico's saying, please fire Gabe. Yeah. No, I can't. He's so nice. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, instead of Scary saying all of this stuff within her own scope. So if we head back to Scary. So instead of doing var inst equals instance place x, y, obj, enemy, let's say that's the parent or something, and we go inst dot. So that's nice about what we can do now. Oh, sorry, that should be... Oh, I did that wrong.
Okay, yeah. Nice.
Yep, so that would be instead of going like with inst and then perhaps even like switch its object index, and then depending on the type of object that it is, like if it's obj rat boy.
Right, that would be annoying.
Then do that
Breaker.
stuff. Damn it. Break, you know, and then if it's a different object, then do something else. And it feels yucky, right? Because we've got code that belongs to rat boy in Scary.
Okay.
And when you get like hundreds of these, if this is like a fighting game and we're colliding with hundreds of objects and we're trying to track down where on earth this pushback thing got set.
Access rat boy's HP and just...
Yeah, but it still kind of exists in here, and if this ever changes, it's harder to track down. And again, these problems are difficult to judge just how annoying they are, but it's when like this might be setting rat boy's state.
I guess would it be kind of like trying to find the issue?
Exactly, when you're trying to find a bug. Exactly. So we're not... If we have the rule that like all of the code is actually within our own private quote unquote functions, we know exactly where to look to see if there's an error with our rat boy. It will be in their take damage.
Right, it'll
switch.
Be them, not us, not Scary.
Whereas perhaps this is set in lots of like we saw that rat boy was just always getting pushed back, and we couldn't find where because this was being set in various places, you know, in who knows what object. Like Scary could have been a different one. Something else was colliding with it. Hard to track down. But this way we can just go inst take damage. Yep.
Cool. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So this is the good stuff. This is like, it feels a lot better to be making a very large game, and you really start to appreciate how much work the functions and stuff do for you. Yeah, when you it's easier to find errors.
So next time you see a function, be sure to thank it for doing
for doing its job. Yeah, we're very happy to have them. Keep them coming, guys. Like they're your best friends. All right.
Yay.
So our other friends we haven't talked about yet, Structs. So a struct, bro.
Yeah.
This is the cool.
Structs.
This is cool. You thought functions were good.
Oh man, I just dropped
everything. Okay. All right.
Wait, can I get a drink first?
All right.
1 sec.
All right, guys, we're taking a break.
Just 1 minute.
Go grab a drink. I was a professional, and oh no, I wasn't actually. You got me a drink at the start.
Exactly. I've just drank all night. So mean.
All right. Alright, we got Lazy and Jack. By the way, if anyone in the chat is wondering why these two extremely silly people are being extremely silly, they are my co-workers. We work together, so they're very silly. I can't do anything about it. Alright.
Just ignore them.
Now the fun thing is I'm going to kind of avoid using the words that we have used together, Jack, Lazy and I, because I don't know if they're real words or if they're words that they have made up. So for example, staticors, I don't know if that is a made up word.
What the hell did you just say?
Staticor?
Staticor?
Yeah.
That sounds like a manticore.
What is that?
Is that not a thing? Isn't that like a mythical thing?
Oh, I don't know, maybe. Alright. Alright, we're going to continue. Okay, so a struct. Do you know what a struct is? Have you ever heard of a struct?
I've heard of it because you keep talking about it all the time.
Alright.
Is it sort of like a data structure?
Yeah, exactly. You are correct.
Oh my god, guys, I got it right.
It is kind of like a data structure. So, so you know what an array is. So an array is like this. What else can we put in here? We can even put a function in here actually. Bean2. So that's we can put whatever we want in an array. Actually, I don't know if that's gonna work. Let's see. Perhaps not. Oh no, it does like that. Okay, so we can put functions inside of stuff as well. Wow. That's pretty cool. So that could be like a take damage function, by the way. So like take damage, and then that you can do stuff. HP minus equals 1. It's cool. Functions can get passed around like that. I'll talk more about that in a second. Let's just not go there yet. So that's an array. We can make a grid. So grid. Let's do a list actually. List equals list. Create, which is kind of exactly like an array. I think you've used these before, so like we can put that in the first entry. It's used the same as an array. Grid equals grid.
To be honest, I don't really get why I'm using lists. It's just because you told me to use a list. But for example, I don't know why I'm using a list and not an array.
It depends on what you're doing. Lists I would only kind of use. I think like lists are good for saving, so if you're using JSON and you want to save a list, it's very easy. It's probably not what you're doing though. But another thing a list can do is, so if you wanted to shuffle an array.
That is what I did.
Yes, so you can't shuffle it. There is no function to shuffle an array. But
why?
Because an array assumes that it's static.
Okay.
That's why arrays are fast data structures in programming languages.
So is it keeping track? Wait.
It is okay. So you kind of with an array, you assume the stuff that you put in there will always be in that place, and things aren't really being moved around. And the array size is not growing. It is just a place. You carved out a place.
Can't you add stuff to an array?
You can.
Okay.
But it's kind of when you use arrays, it's kind of assumed that you're not supposed to be changing the array because it takes a little bit of oomph, like a time to change the array size. It's not something that you want to be doing. An array is supposed to be kind of static. Static in that it doesn't change in size and stuff. A list you can shuffle, you can add to it and stuff. Just the, I don't know, it's easier to do, what's it called? Yes list, shuffle list. Right, and that doesn't exist for an array. So we have like stuff on data structures that lets us do more things with them. We can do all of this really easily with an array. Oh, that's another thing that's with a list, sorry. You can't like, if we wanted to delete bean, we can't really do that. We have to like copy everything from like that part of the array, like, move it up.
Is it the thing where like if you delete bean from the list, everything moves its position?
Yes, which is handy for some things.
Right.
But yeah, we can't really just delete that. We can set it to 0, but we can't like erase that place and just move it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot harder. We have to like make a new array kind of and copy it over. So all data structures, they have their use cases, except for queues. I have never successfully used a queue where like a list wouldn't do.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Dynamic data, that's what I wanted.
Wait, is there stacks?
Yeah, there's
in this?
Yep. It's kind of like a...
It's like a queue, but
so the way that I always think about it is like a stack is like a pancake stack. You always want the top pancake because that's the hot, good stuff. So you take the first one off. But with a queue, it's first in, first served. You take in the person who was there first.
Pancake.
The bottom pancake. Yeah, that's like, exactly.
It's fair.
All right. So those are some data structures. You can't resize an array. I think you can with GameMaker. I don't know what it does internally. Like, I don't know if it actually, if I say like array 10, so that doesn't exist currently. If I say that equals 1, you can do that, and now it has that, and I think you'll have like a bunch of empty places in there, but
yeah. Okay.
You're not supposed to.
Because you can do that in like in the stats software that I use.
Yeah. It's always good if you, and again, this is, if any like new programmers are watching this, by the way, this isn't stuff you have to fret about. Like if you want to just add something to the 10th entry, if you want to resize an array, it's fine. It will be fine. It is not, we're getting into the realms of like optimizing stuff, but also the kind of stuff that I was talking about before where it's like, you want to make sure that you don't make a mistake, so you force yourself to know, like, that array, it's only going to have 10 stuff in it, I'm not going to touch it, it's not going to change size.
So basically, like, when you become an experienced coder, you just become, like, a huge safety nerd?
Yeah, and it's kind of, you're trying to, it sounds like you're being really...
You're just like, no, don't go outside, you could get hurt.
It is that, you're trying to put up bars around yourself so that you don't make mistakes with your dumb human brain.
Sometimes you gotta let the world in.
No. You set up rigid rules for yourself so you don't make the mistake, and the very clever compiler can catch all of your dumb mistakes. Your dumb human brain is not good, not as good as a computer, so we have these things.
Okay, let's get to struct. So what's a struct
though? Oh god, yeah. Sorry, this is like so much ranting. It's because oh god, I've learned so much in the last year, and I wish I could. I want to tell I want to make more of these kinds of like things that I've been learning and things that I want to share. Because even just like when I started learning programming and like stuff I didn't appreciate, I appreciate a lot better now, and I think the reasons like why is this a certain way I could explain a lot better. And I would love to do that in something for the future. Let's get to structs.
Do you know that?
Do lists internally double if needed? Do lists internally double if needed, but only when needed, the way they are in other languages? I assume they do. Yeah, I'm not sure. And it's kind of hard to know like how GameMaker works under the hood.
Anyway, struct. What's a struct?
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, read the chat, guys. The stuff that Dragonite's spamming saying is really cool. That is okay. Cool. That is how the arrays work. So there you go. You have to like make a whole new array for it to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. A struct.
So that does sound a bit annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, like it hides it from you, so you, the user, don't have to know that. But it's not optimal to do that. Okie dokie. Structs. Okay, so like you were saying, a struct. Let's call it. What do you want to call it?
Ooh, Bob the Builder.
All right, Bob the Builder. Wait, let's do snake case because I know that Lazy loves snake case. This is a struct.
Does he not like it?
No, he does. He does like it. Yeah, this is called a struct. We use this to initialize, what's the word? Declare.
That it's a struct.
Yeah. It's kind of exactly the same as an array, so we could have done like this as well. Similar stuff. You know, we can declare it over different lines. And now, what we have just done is we've created kind of like a little object. Isn't that cool?
Okay.
So, let's give him a name. It's probably Bob.
Yes.
Bob. Occupation.
Builder.
Yeah. Builder. We can go fave tool. What do you think?
The wrench.
A wrench. Okay. Sweet. Except, perhaps, these are all strings at the moment. We don't have to put in, storing strings. We could have, like, health points. 5. Right? We can put whatever we want. We can say, Bob the Builder, we want you to build something.
A house.
Well, actually, this is going to be a function.
Oh. Do a house.
Alright, we don't really have, like, whatever. Okay, so we can, show debug message, I built a house. We can even say, like, kind of house. And let's say that that'll take in a string. Oh, have I done this wrong? What have I done?
Does that need to be as a string?
Oh, I don't have a name for it. Sorry. So we need this to be a method, it's called. But it works the same. It's kind of, instead of having the name of the function here, it's like, this is now storing this function. So instead of having, it works the same though, but it's just when you have to, so I could have done.
Wait, what?
Hold on, I'll get to it. Build something. In fact, let's just, right, so if we have this is a function, yeah? Just like we were doing before, so we have function, build something, and it takes it in input, right? Okay, what we can also do is say this.
Oh, okay, you can do both.
Yeah, and now that variable kind of contains a, I don't know if it is a pointer, I think.
Wait, but then how would you put in arguments?
The same thing.
So
I just like this.
No,
oh, you mean like now how do I call it?
Yeah.
So it's I would use the variable name.
Build something and then you just put it inside.
Like
okay. So it's the same. It's literally the same.
Yeah. So if I call this, I think it should actually should work. All the stuff that we're doing.
What?
I thought that should have worked.
Well, is this even being run?
It should be, because this should be run when the game is started. All of these things all run.
Wait, you didn't do that though.
What do you mean?
It's
a bit interesting. Oh, I think I just missed it. Where is it? Oh, it did work. Okay. I thought I was going crazy then. But yeah, there you go. I built a cottage, so it totally did work. Yeah, so that's it's called.
Oh yeah, and it did. So it added it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so that is, yeah, it's just the same thing. We can also, I think that's how you get no, we're not going to go into that. Okay, so it's kind of like an alternate way of storing the function. Because now we can store it on the instance, kind of, and we can call it on the instance.
Wait, what?
Just that it's...
Call it on the instance? What does that mean?
It exists... because we're in a literal constructor, we can't declare it inline, like how we were doing. So we can't... Once we're in here, we can't, like, have... Oh, it's hard to explain. Oh man, I don't know how to explain it. what we could do actually is go Bob the Builder. And then declare a new function. So we could go, what else does Bob the Builder do?
Fixes it.
Fix house. And does something. Yep. Which is pretty cool, right? Because like Bob the Builder as a struct is kind of like a little object. And we can even go, yeah, no, that's all good. Yeah, we could go build something. Oh, whoops, no. What's a different kind of house? I said cottage before.
Lake house.
Lake house.
Farmhouse. Townhouse.
There you go. So yeah,
okay, so you're making like an object.
Yep. So you might be wondering, yeah, right. So you might be wondering where on earth are we going to use this? And it is for data. So for example, we might have a a little bundle of data on all of our objects. So for example, all of our NPCs. So if I want to say NPC, pretend this is what an NPC will look like. So for example, a new NPC. And we want to set them to have a name. We want them to have a like sprite, what's it called? A portrait sprite.
Yes.
And we set that to SPR, whatever. We have perhaps all of their dialogue. And anything that we might need for an NPC, we might want to have them. We might want a place to put all of that data, and it might even be a function. So we might want to have an NPC have a make portrait, or
could this be like randomly generating an NPC?
Yeah, you could. If you put in yeah, totally, you totally could do that.
So I just don't get like, okay, but why don't you just make an object to do this? Like as in, you know, make an object, a real object, not a struct object.
Well, it's because we want this to exist adjacent to the NPC. So at the moment, we have Scary, we've got Rat Boy, we've got Suki, and I want to make them... I want to set up my dialogue system, right? And I want them to all have the correct like data on them to be used in the dialogue system, and say that the dialogue system requires a name, a sprite, dialogue, and perhaps some kind of behavior to like walk in dialogue, or like emote dialogue.
Okay.
And then they all have a function on them that contains logic to like do stuff, do emote stuff. Right, and they might all have, or it might be like instance create like an emote, and then they might like pass off their stuff to that, whatever. So you might have a bunch of stuff, all things to do with how they work in dialogue, and so that whenever I actually want to go ahead and make a dialogue with that object, I can go obj suki dot, so say this is, let's head over to Suki, because I want this to be in her context.
Suki is my nice cat character.
Yeah, so Suki, doesn't matter, I'm cat.
So wait, I'm making this, I would make this in all my objects.
Right, so...
Wait, is that right?
And I can call it this, yeah.
And wait, so I make the same struct.
Yeah. We can make this easier. So we can actually, I'm going to talk about constructors in a second, where we can
construct a struct.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my god. So
right.
Okay.
So, but hold on a second. So yeah. So now.
So I shouldn't have called it Bob the Builder. Like Bob would be a constructor.
Whoops.
Right. And then the struct would be like a house.
No.
It's
still it's a very specific thing. It's a special kind of function, but we'll get to that. Don't worry about it yet. It's a way of making structs, kind of. Okay, so here we go. We have this struct now. We kind of say we're just starting to code this. We've made our dialogue system. We know all the stuff we need. It's all of this stuff. We want to put this in all of our NPCs now. All of them. We will require them to have this stuff. We could just copy and paste it and put it in all of the NPCs, right? And we could call it dialogue data. When the dialogue box wants to get to this, we can say, so say it's the instance we've collided with. We've done a instance place XY obj NPCs. Say they're all children of this thing. And we can go inst dot dialogue data dot name. Like that is how we can access that stuff.
Okay, so it's like within the instance, within the struct, get the name.
Right.
Okay.
So that is important. We can't just do inst.name because that is within the scope of Suki. So that would be if Suki had a name.
Right. So it's in the struct.
It is in her struct, which belongs to her, kind of. But it's kind of like she contains
like
an object. Yeah, exactly. She's got, exactly. A little, as Dragonite Spam is saying, a little blob of data in here. And that data can contain just as much as an object.
What I don't get is why you don't just use like an array.
Because we can do this. So because it is so lovely to put dot name as opposed to
like the fucking number of the
yeah, exactly.
And that's the only reason. So it's basically for us so we can write more easily.
Yes, and again that feeds into the dumb human making mistakes. We want to make it so easy for us when we're doing stuff like,
and that's why we use like enums and stuff too.
And like in my text box, if I'm looking at this, wait, hold on. Might not. This is all quite readable, honestly.
Thank you.
But even this, oh no, that's pretty good. That's fine. Okay, you don't have.
I'm just good at it.
But you know, if it's kind of like if you looked at someone's code and they've got like an array of arrays accessing, and you're like, what the hell? What are you getting out of? Like, I'm drawing the inventory or something. What is in that little bit of data? Like, why are you accessing the third entry in that array in that grid? Like, I don't know what this means. Whatever, but it's so much clearer to just see.
That's totally fair enough. I forget things all the time. What I'm doing.
Yeah, it's so clear what that is. Like, I know exactly how that works. I can give it to someone else, and it's very understandable.
Cool. Okay. So it's for ease. It's for our own ease of coding.
It's an array, but it has nicer names. There is actually another plus to structs, unlike lists, for example. So as we know, data structures that we make have to be cleaned up by us. On the cleanup event, we have to go. Whoops. It doesn't matter. I could have done it in there. Cleanup.
Yes, I did that, and I was like, because I read that you should do it. And I was like, I don't really get why.
Okay. So, it's in other languages. Like, this is a thing that you have to do when you make stuff, and you have to... It's called, like, memory management. You have to handle when things get created and deleted, and it will free up space in your game. If you have a little bit of control over that, again, that's, like, a thing that can be really good when you're making a big project, and, like, you might know that you're not going to use this texture anymore, so you want to just delete it. For whatever reason in GameMaker, they have made it so that most stuff you don't have to clean up yourself. It is handled manually. For example, if I think if nothing is...
Is that like if you leave a room, all the things get deleted?
Yeah. So they all get cleaned up, yeah. If an object gets deleted, all of its variables get deleted. If no one has any more access to an array, I think it gets deleted as well. Stuff like that.
Really? That sounds cool.
Actually, I guess that wouldn't have applied... Whoops, no, I don't want to clean that up. Oh, that's how it's supposed to work, yeah. So with data structures, when we make them, we have to clean them up. And that might be when the object gets destroyed, it might be when the game ends. But they suggest always to add the thing to the cleanup event that you did, that you handle the deletion of the data structure.
Okay.
So that is good for if you make a say the player has a list of things in a room, and once that player gets deleted and then recreated in a new room, you want the old list to be gone. Because otherwise, if the player creates a list every time they get created, you're going to have a new list in every single room you go to.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
And they'll never get deleted. Yeah. So that's why we have to do cleanup.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think about like those things persisting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that just sounds like they made that problem and then like, why didn't they just delete it?
Why don't they manually clean it up?
Delete it,
yeah. Maybe you want it to persist. So like on persistent
like
objects.
Inventory or something to persist, would that be?
Yeah, so like you might want that to persist. Sorry, I'm just hungry.
Stuff like that. Okay. Okay, so there is just freedom for a few different ways you want to do it.
Yeah, like they could have. It's kind of like, because this is kind of weird. I think they're not really owned by an instance. They're kind of global. Like if I have the ID,
sorry, or a
list.
Structure. Okay.
A list. So if I have a reference to it, it's kind of like a pointer to the list, but the list doesn't exist on an object. If that makes sense, it's somewhere in memory. We can all kind of, if we can get a pointer to it, it's pointer in commas. I'm not sure if it actually works like that, but
isn't that anything?
No, not really. Let's not go into that. It's just we're getting too complicated and far away from the point.
Okay, so wait, back to this.
A struct.
Oh wait, I had a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So if I write this in like Rat Boy, I do the same dialogue data thing. Can I write it in a different order and it's okay as long as I still say name and whatever?
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't have to be there. I can put that down here. Yep, it's because I would always access it like this. So that's a good part of that. Or you might have like for whatever reason, maybe one of them just doesn't have a function to do that. Like it doesn't have to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. No worries, lazy. Have a good sleep. I think is it sleep time? Maybe.
Because Cosmo keeps track of her employees' time zone and sleep times.
Co-worker though, not my employee. But
right.
yeah. Oh, and Nosey's there.
Who's Nosy?
Our brother.
Oh my god! Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey Nosy.
All right. To continue.
How did he find out about this?
It's on YouTube, man. It's on the internet.
Nah, but like, didn't you just tweet it?
It's on the channel. It's just Friendly Cosmonaut is so big like everyone in Australia.
I didn't know
gets
he
a
even
little
checked
message.
Twitter.
I don't know. All right.
Hey bro, what's up? Sorry.
Okay. With Structs, like I was saying, they are actually, you can manually delete them. And the manual suggests that you do. Why is it zeroing here? So if I open up, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Struct. Where's the delete thing? Right, so you can delete a struct yourself.
Cool.
And
what does it delete?
Yeah, you say delete this struct.
Where do you say that?
So you can go like delete, and then dialog data.
Cool.
I think. But you don't strictly need to, because as it says, it is actually cleaned up.
The garbage collector.
Yeah, so the thing that does this for objects and stuff, it will do this for the structs. When there is no longer anyone accessing that who has a some kind of access to the struct, it will get cleaned up, as it says, in a couple steps. Which honestly is fine for us. I can't really see this ever being a problem. I don't I can't see like that you would ever have to manually delete a struct, especially for how I've been using them. But it might be for some reason that you want it to be cleaned up, gone, and then like in the next frame you might want it to create a very similar struct, maybe under the same name or something. And yeah, you might just to make sure you don't have any bugs, you might want to be really specific about this. But for a lot of the time for me, a lot of my structs are maybe persistent, or they exist on the object and it doesn't really matter when it gets deleted, like in an enemy or something, they have like a take damage struct or something. Yeah, so you don't need to clean them up, which is actually really good. So I have actually I am not using maps basically anymore, which are also very handy data structures. So, you know, a map, it's like, we can put stuff in like this, and then that can store like the number of beans I've got. I might have, actually to make more sense as an inventory, let's say. Yeah, so that's quite nice because maps are quite readable as well, having the string there. Or an enum or whatever, however you're storing stuff in the inventory. Similar to the struct, when I say .name, yeah, it's quite readable. But unlike the map, I don't have to manually delete the map ever, which means like I can have structs within structs within structs and not really have to worry about cleaning that up ever. Whereas if I have like a list...
So why would you have structs within structs within structs?
It depends what you're creating, but for example, I might have, so we've got dialogue data, but for example, if this wasn't just a nice array, I could make this a struct.
Oh yeah.
So, and I could have, dialogue on, first meeting. Other times. You know, and I could have that. So now instead of just having, I could have done that with an enumerator or something, but I can have a nicer way of sometimes accessing even more data within that. And again, it could be even more complicated. Like I could have another function in here that is to do with dialogue. So it might be like capitalize.
And how would I refer to that, like outside of that? Would it be dialogue data dot dialogue dot?
Yeah. So
special.
Exactly. So if I wanted to do, let me just get rid of some of this stuff. So I'll say dialogue dot, I have to do dialogue data. So this struct, then we go dot dialogue, and then we can go first meeting.
Can you have, could I do dialogue as a separate thing as well? Okay, wait, as in, okay, wait, let me type, so, because I have dialogue as a struct here, can I also have it as, like an array?
Oh, you can make an array, yeah. You're using the same name though.
No, I know, that's what I mean. Can I do that, or will it get annoyed?
No, yeah, you're replacing the data.
Am I?
Yeah.
But it's not I thought you said it's like an object. What if I do it like that? It has to have a different name, it has to be unique. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if it's a different type of data.
Oh, I mean, like, you can do that, but you've lost your reference to
no,
this.
I mean, like, would it know? It's not like it's like...
Oh, I don't think so. I think you can just reuse names, yeah.
No, as in, like, I want it to be able to.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, it doesn't really matter. So basically just make sure it's a unique name. Okay.
I mean, that's what that applies for all variables.
No, but I just thought like maybe it's because...
Oh, do you mean like within here? So if I go in here, can I use dialogue?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yeah, you can.
I wrote it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, no, sorry. Okay, yeah.
My bad. That was my bad.
Yeah, and this is so cool. So you can have, yeah, exactly. So that's now, I can totally go dialogue.dialogue because it's
If you want to be confusing,
yeah.
but...
Yeah, you totally can. That only exists within the context of this struct, and then this thing only exists within the context of that struct.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Okay.
It is very cool. So yeah, that's how I would get like this bit of string, that string. I can go dot capitalize, which is cool. So this is like a method that exists within the dialog struct, which exists within the dialog data struct. So I can go like this, and then pass in a string. I could even say, so I could say your, and then it should spit out a capitalized version of that. I can also go like dialog data dot dialog dot special, and same thing. So yeah, structs are pretty cool.
Cool. Okay, and now a constructor.
Now a constructor. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid of. Oh, we can keep that. Oh, I'm gonna delete this just to simplify it. Okay, so
wait, can I have a 2-minute break again?
All right.
I need to go to the bathroom.
All right, no worries. Let me catch up with the chat. Yeah, sorry, Rob. No, I haven't done sequences. I haven't looked at them for my own projects, even. They look really cool. Oh, I forgot to explain this, but you can like create any type of asset by just like right-clicking and doing this. And you know, you can go and have a look at sequences, and I think you can like drag in a thing and then say like, and this is kind of like an animation timeline thing, if you've used that before, and I can apply, I think, so I get all the like variables to do with friendly cosmonaut here, which is an object, so maybe you only get position. I think you can get more, and you can change those, like frame 1 I can be here, and then I can on frame here or something. Actually, I think I need to be in live mode. I don't really know how to use this honestly though, but yeah, you can create little animation sequences, change stuff about it. So we get our little, like that, and then if I play it, we get our cool little animation here. I think that these could be pretty cool though, because I think you can like take an object as an argument into a sequence and then like apply the transformations to that object, which I can see being quite useful for UI or shared transformations as well. So like maybe a character, I want them to have like the same kind of jiggle and have them all do the same kind of squish and stretch kind of stuff, and you could use a sequence for that, but I have not, that's not really like how our game works, but might be cool for more like arty kind of projects or animations. Like technically you could build a whole animation in here. I think you can also play sounds and stuff. So potentially very cool, but I just haven't used it. Alright. Okay, scrolling up. Okay. So let's move on to the constructors.
Yay!
So, like I said, perhaps we want this in every single object.
Yes.
But I don't want to copy and paste them every time, because this might change and I might decide later on that, for example, I want to add more functions to the NPC kind of dialogue data struct. So what I might do is I'm going to take this, we are going to go back to a script, because I'm going to make this one a global kind of thing. Doesn't have to be, but can be, because I want all NPCs to perhaps use this. This is my little, what's it called? A template, just to remember. So let's say that I want to be able to kind of go like, new NPC, and then put in all of my data, like my name is Scary, my sprite for being a portrait is Scary Run. I can even put a function in here, so I can go whatever I want. Yep, all that stuff, so I can do that. And that's what I want to kind of put in every single object, to make them have that little bundle of data here. Mm-hmm. So that's my end goal. That is what we are going to approach. So that you might have seen this before with like a vector, right? So I might have like a movement vector equals new vector 2, 3, okay, whatever, and that's like that. It's the same thing. That's the same kind of concept as what we can now make in GameMaker. So that is also using a constructor that is returning a vector3 struct with these variables.
Hang on. All right. Just give me a second for that to sink in. So...
And perhaps I should have actually started with that because like vectors are a very easy example. Let's actually do that. So forget about the dialogue for a second. So say I want this to work. This doesn't exist in GameMaker. I don't have a vector3.
Okay.
But say I wanted to set that up. I'm making a 3D game and I want to have 3D vectors. So I can make a constructor, which I think goes like this. So function, vector3. So that is a function for vector3. That there's not a constructor, but if I want to make it a constructor, I can say constructor. I think. I always get a little confused typing this out. Oh, I might have done it in the wrong order. Hold on. Let me just look up the...
What the hell?
Oh, that's handy. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I screwed up the order.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it takes in an X, a Y, and a Z, as we know. And now I can just say I can go like X. So with a let me remind you, with a what's it called, a struct. So new, let's call this new vector. This is what it would kind of look like. You know, that's an example of a vector3.
3 vector, yes.
And this is what we kind of want in the end. So say that that's the output, the desired output. And when I declare a struct in line like this, you can see we use the little colon and we use the comma.
Sure. That's what we were doing before, right?
Yeah. That's just the notation for how to declare a struct, like in line.
Yeah.
Just note, when we use a constructor, it's slightly different syntax. So when we say this, we have actually kind of, anything within these brackets is now within the scope of the vector that we're going to return.
Wait, say that again.
So if I say this,
yeah,
this belongs to the struct that we're returning here, right?
I don't really get the flow of this.
Honestly, it is a bit confusing. So if okay, just look at this. So if I go...
So, wait. Sorry, so firstly, I was just confused because, function... Okay, so you have to write function to make a constructor?
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
So this is... Okay, what I'm going to do... I'm going to show you what this does in terms of a function. So this is the constructor. That's how we make a constructor. This is what it will be spitting out.
Okay, so what I don't get this order. Shouldn't that be like at the end? That's what we're getting.
Yeah, that's what we're
our
getting
goal. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I say move vector dot x, it will give us 0, right? It'll give us. This is spitting out a struct when we say move vector. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this slightly differently.
Nah, I don't get it.
No, you will. You will. Don't worry about it. This is the same problem I had. I find this notation a little bit confusing, but I'm going to explain exactly what it means. Down here. So forget all of that.
Okay.
I'm going to make a function, just a function, called vector3, x, y, z. Okay? So, and now what I can do is I can say var new vec, it's just a name for it, it could have been anything, I could have called it bean, And I'm going to declare a struct inline now. So I'm going to say x equals...
What the hell do you mean inline?
It's what this thing means. When it's like you do it in the line, I think.
What does that mean? What do you mean you do it in the line?
Well, instead of declaring it like by function or something, saying that so if with an array, I can create it with a function. You know, I can say 10, and I'm going to fill it with the value 5, all of them containing 5. That's how I declare an array with like a function. But I can declare an array inline by doing this. It's just a different way of doing it.
Okay. So it's like longhand.
Yeah, kind of. It's like more explicit or something. Literal. Is it called a literal? I might have been saying that wrong. It might be called an array literal.
Okay.
So, my apologies.
Alright. So you're doing it inline instead of...
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
But keep in mind, this is exactly what the constructor is doing, kind of.
The constructor is doing
it
not inline.
Put that to an aside. Okay, so we're putting in all of our arguments here. You know, we're doing it exactly the same as before. Right? So we've passed in these arguments. We've made the array. However, if I do this...
Beanback equals vector 3. So you're passing in all of those into that function to make new vec.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you're calling it beanvec.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my new bean vector. Or move vector, whatever. That's why I've like made this, okay? However, if I do this, I'm actually not getting anything back. This function, as you can see, does not return anything. It just makes this. And now this exists in the void. No one cares about it. No one has a reference to it. But it does exist. We did make a thing. And if I go show debug message and I put new vec in it here, if we run the compiler, we will see that it will come out.
Okay, but it's not...
But I haven't returned anything. I'm not giving it to the thing. I can return it by doing this. Right? And now, when I use this and I say equals this thing, it will give us that vector.
Okay.
So this works.
Okay, because it saved it.
Yes.
As that thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I could have also done, instead of having it as a variable, I could have done this. Right? So it's returning this thing.
Okay.
But I like this, honestly. I find this nice notation because it's very clear what we're returning. We're returning this thing. That's this thing.
Yes.
So now...
Well, I think it's a little unnecessary, actually.
Right. Whatever. Well, it means actually...
Thank you, everybody understanding my slow trying to understand pain.
No, this is fine. This is hard to understand, honestly. And I had the same experience with the constructor. I was like, I don't understand this notation. This seems really unnecessary. When I can just do this. So that stuff that we were talking about, if we wanted to make a dialogue, like NPC data...
Wait, keep doing the vector thing.
Alright, I'll get to that. So now that we've done that and we kind of understand that this vector right here is making vectors. Sorry, this function is making vectors. Structs.
It's making a struct, which is just... It's a struct... Okay, yes.
Yeah. And we can do this as many times as we want. You know, we can make like 1 million vectors.
So, is it equivalent to a vector? Like, but it's a struct. Like, is there a difference in... Like, it's just saving 3 numbers like a vector would. Is that, like, the same? Is it equivalent?
Yeah. Except with other languages, usually you don't just have... X, Y, and Z, you actually often have methods on the vector. So for example, a vector might have also add as a function.
Oh, and how that works.
Yep.
Okay.
So, or normalize.
So like stuff for how it acts.
Yeah, so, and then I can, like for example, I can go, now that contains, I think I've stuffed up this notation. And I don't know, what do you do when you normalize a vector?
You're kind of like doing
whatever. Okay,
finding the length,
whatever math,
dividing it by the length,
right? And then I return the result. I don't know what that math is. Whatever. So we can say that. Actually, I'm gonna say. Not like that.
So is that essentially just like how that's gonna behave when I like normalize it, or like if I was gonna multiply vectors, that would tell it how to do it.
Exactly. So
inside it.
That's why in other languages you're always doing like dot thing.
Oh,
right? Because it belongs to our vector.
Oh,
right.
Lovely.
Isn't that good?
That's so
Don't we love that?
interesting.
Love it. Love that.
Okay.
Right. So that is that's how that works. So we can do that too with our classes. We can have.
Oh man.
Yep. Love. Don't you just? Isn't it beautiful?
Man. Just you know when you just go along with stuff and you're like, I don't know why I'm doing dot something all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, and that does make sense because obviously
I actually have a legit tear of joy because when I was so happy when I found this out. I was just loved it.
Oh my god. It's because you go along with it, and you just don't really get why.
Yeah.
And you can't because you're a beginner. Like you don't have the tools to understand why. It would take. Yeah.
So then you see the beauty of structs because they can contain stuff like this.
I see the beauty.
Yeah. Just great, just lovely.
Okay. Okay.
So that is a vector, and so may
and
I
is that
say
how these vectors have been like a vector 2?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't GameMaker do that?
I don't think GameMaker has vector 2s, but we could make our own vector 2 function.
Oh, okay. No, just forget that. I think I was getting confused with a different program.
Yeah, it's alright. All good. With RStudio, for example, that you use, yeah, cool. So and I bet people will make classes of stuff like this. Like, hopefully you'll be able to get modules of like, someone will make like a little 3D engine inside GameMaker with like stuff like this that you can use.
Okay, so just. Okay, so it's. So that was. Is that like a constructor? What is that?
Okay, actually, this person has a good point. So E. Newton is saying, if I do this, I should actually remind you of the scope of everything. So at the moment, if I do dot normalize, and this is applying like, oh man, now I have to do math.
So you should have done normalize.
Okay, let's do add. No, I want it to be this kind of thing.
Oh.
Let's say like, let's do square. Because that's easier.
Okay.
So if we do x square of...
I mean, that's...
Is that how you do it? In GameMaker? I don't think I've ever squared anything before.
That is how you do it in other stuff, but I don't know.
Square. So as you can see, I am using my own variables here because this function exists within the scope of this. So when I call square, it will square its own functions. It doesn't like square, if I have another vector called like being vector, calling that doesn't change being vector. This exists on that one kind of thing.
Hang on. So what have we done? We've done make... Wait, say that again. Sorry?
Okay, so I've made two vectors. And I want to square one of my vectors, and I call move vector dot square. It will go and do this.
Yes.
But that doesn't change being vector.
Oh, yes, sorry, okay.
Yeah. So Sid's saying this isn't valid. Fair enough.
Why?
How do I do it? So let's just do this.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so, cool.
Yes.
Right.
Oh wait, so you're doing... Yes, okay, cool. Now... So now I'm just confused with... Yes, so if we do... So this is a function.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so what I wanted to say was this is in its own scope, but if I wanted it to kind of not be, like if I wanted it to take... add, I might want to be able to put in another vec3 and then add my own self to vec3 dot x.
Okay.
Oh. Yep, and then I can return... Oh, I kind of did this wrong. Well, that will just add it to itself, so I can go add...
And that's changing the actual vector.
Yeah, and then move vector will have added bean vector to itself.
Oh, and that's returning... So you've got return down there, that's why that's okay.
No. It's still... It's doing that within... What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, sorry, I just
It's
meant...
not returning anything. Like, yeah, it's
No,
not...
but it is returning something down, like, because you've got return... Sorry, I just meant, like, why aren't you putting return there?
Well, no, because this is only for making the vector.
Why don't you put return in the...
Because we don't need to return anything.
Why?
Because we're adding it to ourselves and we exist, we don't have to return...
Oh, right, okay.
Like a new thing. Like, we could, and then we could make that, like, return...
Like another vector if you wanted.
Yeah, if I'd done this differently and I'd, like, made a struct, I could, like, put X, Y, Z in here and then, like, save that, that kind of thing. But, yeah, be aware of what scope you're in when you're doing stuff like this.
I don't get why you said that.
What?
What do you mean? Like, what's the warning? Be aware what scope you're in. Oh, do you just mean because you have to specify the vec3 thing? With the X, Y, and Z? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, like, I can't... When I say X here, I'm referring to this X.
Yeah, like the... Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I pass in a vector, I have to do .x like I would with any object.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. So that is a vector 3.
Great.
It's also cool because, when you do stuff like this, I could, for some reason, I could do show debug message uvec.3, sorry, .x. That's why I like to sometimes to have the thing be separate from the return. I might want to just check that I've done a variable properly, so I like to have, like, declare the struct here and then return it here. Anyway. So to Mage Boy, by the way, it is out technically to the public. It is a separate download though, so if you just go to the Yo-Yo Games, if you just Google 2.3 update, beta, it should come up with a link, as long as I think you have to own GameMaker, but you can totally download it now. Okie dokie, so
we're still doing we're not doing constructors still.
Okay, the thing is, this is what a constructor is doing.
Uh-huh.
The only difference is notation. So, this function down here is doing the exact same thing as, if I actually get rid of all this. Or rather, that. Right? So this is exactly the same as that.
It doesn't look that different.
It does not. Yeah. But it's confusing kind of, like, that's why it's a function. Because it's like a function that returns a struct.
Okay, but okay, so the good thing about this would be you don't have to put return.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Like, I don't know if there will be other stuff that GameMaker might add to a constructor to make it, I don't know. I think you can inherit, actually. I think you can inherit from another struct. Like vector 2.
Hang on. Wait. Go back. Wait.
Yeah.
So, this is making a struct.
Mm-hmm. Right. So...
which is...
Yeah, so here, you know how we were typing this?
Yes.
And we just said equals?
Yes.
The difference is with a constructor function, we have to put new.
New vector 3.
So we're saying, like, make me a new... So this function right here, make me a new vector.
Okay, and then you have to save it as a variable.
Yep.
Okay. New vector 3, and you put the thing... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and now let's apply it to our example of the dialogue thing.
Right. So, and by the way, I have to say, I don't love the constructor notation.
Okay.
I kind of prefer doing it literally like this. I don't know if that's good practice or something I should be admitting, and I don't encourage you not to use this, but I like the explicitness of doing it like this because it is the same thing.
I don't really get, like, what the different...
point?
Yeah. So they're both making structs. right?
Yep.
So why
do this?
Do this?
It's nice notation to see this. Like
no, wait. No, as in So what would you have written for the function? You just would have written move vector equals vector 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, right? You would have just written that, right? Sorry. Yeah, so the only difference is here you had to write new.
Yeah.
Why? Just because it's a constructor?
Yeah.
Why?
Because otherwise I'm setting it equal to a function.
Okay.
I think now that becomes a method.
Which is what you were doing before, right?
Yeah. But
but it was an instance of... No, sorry, as in like a... It was a return of the function is what it was being...
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
just trying to
see.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's a nice thing that I think GameMaker is advertising, quote unquote, of a thing that you can do with functions. I think what you can do is you can inherit from another constructor. So if I have vector 2, hold on. And like that makes me a vector 2, and then I think all I have to do is to make a vector 3, it's saying like, okay, well I'm going to pull from the same thing, but I'll add a z.
Oh, okay.
So that's quite nice. But we can do the same thing with the other
We can just do
way.
it with a function as well.
Yeah, so we can do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go var. So Dragonite Spam says, Cosmo, Jack and I argue at least every few weeks over whether constructors or literals are better. I think the community is currently 50-50, yeah.
So literals is...
That's this thing.
Is that thing, okay. Yeah. Yes. So I'm getting the sense that it is very similar and there isn't much difference. Is that correct? Because I'm kind of at this stage going like, I can barely see any difference. But like, is there more differences that I'm
not really? It's what it might come down to. So people like. So keep in mind that's how we did that with the constructor. We have this inheritance set up like this, which is cool. And you might think, well, you can't do that with the literal method, but you can. So
okay.
Say I have a vector 2 here, and I have vector 2. I didn't really have to do that, return a vector. So that's how I make a vector 2. And then a vector 3, I can say, actually... Are you ready for this? So we can go var vec equals vector 2. Oops. And then we can go with that vector and set its z to z. And then return that vector.
With the vector?
Yeah.
So okay, so you're going into its scope.
Exactly. So, sorry, I could have also done this. Z. Whoops.
Oh, that's weird, though.
It kind of is, but I actually really like it.
Okay.
Because it is, to my eyes, explicit about what's kind of happening here.
Sure.
Like, this, it's kind of...
I mean, like, isn't this just different degrees of backhanded, like, code?
Yeah, so it's just... Okay, so if we... man, I want to keep clearing this space. But if you look at that, and say actually this isn't declared here, it's declared, like, way further away, it's kind of harder to see... Oh, it's not really, but it might be harder to see, like, what is actually this... What does a vector 3 contain? It doesn't actually just contain Z. It contains an X
it's right
and Y.
there. It says that it's...
I know, but this is a simple example, but for more complicated...
But isn't it... You'd have to write that there, so you would know that you're referring to this other function.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I think it is.
But still, you might look at that and just say, like, well... I don't know. It might be less obvious.
But it is, like... my question there is, like, it's equivalent, right? It's not, like...
Yeah.
It's not equivalent.
No, it's exactly the same. Yeah. It's still... It's spitting out the
same
same
And the only
vector.
reason you can do this is because... Constructors have this, like, extra bit of code behind the scenes that allows you to write, like, it in a different way, right? So you don't have to do it explicitly. right?
The constructor thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that might exist in other languages.
No, that's fine. Whatever. I just mean that, like, it's got...
Yeah, like it might have specific kind of documentation. I don't know in the future if like constructors will have, I don't know, maybe really explicit ways of seeing what we're inheriting from. Like maybe we can...
It's just like, for me, when I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that, like, if they're technically equivalent, why do people even have preferences? Like, okay, because you are, like, you still have to refer to the thing. So I don't see, like, you said that because you're being explicit with the thing, but, like, I feel like you are still being explicit.
You are.
By writing it like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Really, there is nothing wrong with it. It's,
I guess
it's like
you're not
this.
being like, you're not telling yourself, remember, you're going in there and getting, you know, like, you're going into the scope. Like, you're not telling yourself that. So is that, like, is it just good for, like, facilitating in you what you're doing by using this?
Yes, it's
how
you want to use it. But it's like this stupid debate between, like, using a for loop or a repeat statement.
Yes, right.
And I don't even know how to write a for loop because I never use them because I prefer repeat loops. I like seeing the I going up, so I know exactly what's happening here.
Oh, that's funny.
Sometimes it's more complicated than that. Like sometimes we're not adding, like, sometimes there's an actual reason. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh my god, I was literally coding something up the other day and I tried to write, I can't remember which way around, but I tried to write either a repeat, I think I tried to write a repeat but it didn't work, so I wrote a for loop. And I was like, wait, is this the same thing? And I just realized it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because the thing I don't like about a for loop is like when you have to write like if I is less than whatever, and that always confuses me. Like without fail, I will make a mistake about whether it was supposed to be 2 or 3. So I just prefer saying, no, I want it to repeat 3 times. And that makes more sense for my brain.
Okay, but it's very like, it's equivalent.
It's the same thing, bro. You
why do they even have them?
Okay, but...
Sorry, we're getting off in
yeah, we're getting...
Back to constructors.
And Sid says repeat is technically faster. But it's like, it doesn't matter. It like, so doesn't matter. Your preference with making constructors or using a more literal approach to declaring this stuff, you will see the like beauty of each perhaps coming out in different examples of more complicated data where we might have like 3 layers of inheritance and it becomes less clear perhaps when we're using
I would
this kind
like
of stuff.
To relate it to the dialogue since you said
that
it was going to be good for dialogue.
Yeah.
To do a nice simple... Yeah, we've been going for a while, haven't we? Nearly 3 hours?
Yeah, we might...
Lol.
Yeah, this has been going on for quite a while. I'm going to finish with this example. Yeah, and maybe we'll do a thing in the future. But yeah, it's very fun stuff. Okay, so as I said, we had this dialogue thing.
I gotta go play Halo 3.
Yeah,
good luck.
That's fair, Rob. That's all right.
It's very fair.
All right. So now, would you prefer to use... Now, here's the thing, we have to make the decision. Do you want to use a constructor or do you want to use the...
Well, we better use a constructor.
You reckon?
Because you've been telling me to do structs and whatever.
The funny thing is we do not use constructors in our project.
Oh my god!
But it was because we had to make a decision of like...
Okay, can we do both? Can we just do both?
Well... Oh, okay, I guess so.
So let's do the literal one first.
Yeah, I would say, by the way, though, if you are making a project, it might be...
I feel like it's better for thinking it out is a literal if you're like trying to think out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing that I'm saying. I think it's actually more... Because remember when we first wrote a constructor and you were looking at it and you're like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, okay.
Like, what does a constructor actually return? Like, how much of it's the math part of what we're doing and what are we actually getting as a result? With saying return... the thing, we see clearly what we're actually getting out of it. It's that thing, whatever is contained in vec3 is what we're getting.
Okay.
So I think it's easy to teach what these constructors are doing with the function literal method, and then you kind of go back to it and you're like, well, why are we even using the constructor kind of thing? Anyway. Okay, so let's create a constructor called dialog data.
No, wait, let's do it literal way first.
Oh, okay, a function.
Yeah.
I'm going to capitalize it because I can.
Okay.
So you might want to have a rule, for example. This is what we do in our project. You don't have to do this at all. You could call it like this. Doesn't matter. But we call functions that return a struct. We use capitals. What's it called? I've forgotten. Pascal case? Is that what it's called?
Oh, the giraffe. Wait.
Camel.
Oh, camel, that's it. Whatever, I was sort of close.
Oh man, that's a very tall capital.
At least
I
remembered that it was an animal. Oh, they're all animals. There's snake case and camel case. Alright, whatever. Whatever!
Yeah, okay. Pascal. That's when you capitalize all of them. Okay. So we know that we're going to make a vector. Doesn't matter what we call it. Let's just say data.
Why did you say Pascal?
Because that's the name of the case. Pascal.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
I thought it was just a random thing that you just said.
No.
Okay.
I think it might have been the person who made it or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Ugh, sorry, my microphone.
I like camel case better. Oh yeah, camel case is okay.
Screaming case is also pretty good. So that's the one that I don't know if it's actually called that or if that's just what people jokingly call it.
No, I'm sure it is. Screaming snake case.
Yeah. Alright, so here we go. We create our vector.
Cool.
And we can kind of copy paste.
You mean struct?
Oh god, yes, I mean struct. Sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Let's get rid of this because it doesn't do anything.
Yep.
Okay, so we put in our input. So what are we taking in? We're taking in a name. Whoops, a name. By the way, I would recommend using.
Yeah, why do you keep doing that?
Yeah, so I can do this.
Is that because they're local variables?
Yeah. Yeah. And it just becomes really confusing if you have like an actual variable called that, and then you're like,
okay.
And you see that in code and you're like, well, I don't really, like, the scope is weird here and I want it to be very clear. This is always, we have this rule of having...
Okay, I like that.
That's what most...
That makes it feel diminutive, like...
Yeah, it's like this thing, it only exists in this context. We know... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get it. Okay. Port Sprite. Cool.
Cool.
So portrait Sprite and we can go port... Sprite and name. There we go. What you could also do, by the way, we'll keep it like that. Portrait Sprite. Can you think of anything else we could put in here?
The dialogue.
Some dialogue. And like maybe that would point to a map or an ID in a map or something. Whatever. We said dialogue. To dialogue, and then perhaps we have like methods on here.
So what's a method, by the way? Because you're kind of just referring, so it's kind of like how it's going to behave.
A method is like a function when it's set to a variable, is how I understand it.
When it's set to a variable. Do you mean a struct?
No, I mean
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's returning...
Oh, it doesn't have to return anything, technically. Like, if it's like a method, it is another name for a function.
Sorry, I meant
function.
I meant like, sorry, I forgot like what's coming out of this.
Yeah, so methods on a struct, they can return stuff, they can just do stuff. It's the same as any other function. We can put whatever we want in here.
But it's kind of like a behavior, right? It's like an optional behavior.
You can think of them like that. When I say like I have, here's dialog data, I'm going to declare a bunch of methods on it. They kind of, it feels like to me I'm talking about stuff that I'm going to make the struct do when I say like that. But I think people use function and method interchangeably as well. So it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, that's what I'm, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
Okay.
Yeah. We can call them functions, doesn't matter. GameMaker likes to call them... Okay, GameMaker has this thing called method. So if we wanted to get, for example, capitalize, if we wanted to get... At the moment, capitalize belongs to this struct. But if I want to get like my own copy of it, then I can go... no, actually, I have to get like... Okay, let's say I've actually set this up properly. I can do this. And I think, do I put in the name of the function or do I put...
Yeah, you go.
No, I think I just put the name of the... So I think I would capitalize.
So that's...
I'm not sure if I have to do that.
No, surely that's why you've got data at the first argument.
I'm less sure now.
There's an example. I think you just do it like that. That makes sense to me, because why would you specify where it is if you were going to just do that afterwards?
I guess so. It's just a lot of the struct using stuff. It has stuff in a string, and I just don't know if we're supposed to. You can supply the instance ID. The instance ID, as well as the ID of the function. The function will return a method.
Anyway, this is boring.
Okay. Alright.
So this is if you want to get a copy of the little function inside
of this function, yeah. It might, maybe it has to be...
Why would you want to do that?
Maybe it has to be like this.
So like, wait. What is that getting? That's getting... What, the actual function for like writing it out? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's because we're doing stuff inside of a struct. I think a method is supposed to be for when we have like... Yeah, so if I have that, and let's say that exists in Scary, in OBJ Scary, and say that for some reason Suki wanted a reference to Bean.
Why?
I don't know. So or it might be like kill me. And it only exists inside Scary, and for whatever reason, I don't really know why you would want to do that. You can get it like and say OBJ Scary.
But can't you just do
like
OBJ Scary dot kill me? Wait.
Well, yeah, but if I wanted to, I don't know. You could do that, but perhaps you wanted a more persistent reference to that.
Can you just save it as a variable?
Like, I'm not sure. No, I think because it was still. This is creating the function, but within now the context of us. So you know how before.
Oh, so it's like applying it all to us instead of if we did what I said, it would be like within the scope of Scary.
Yeah. So before, if this existed on Scary, and I called OBJ Scary, dot kill me.
Right.
I'm expecting that to kill Suki. It would not. It would call this and it would kill Scary.
Okay.
But if I wanted it to now.
Okay, and then it's like apply it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. All right.
Yeah, and then it'd work. Yeah. Okay. So that's I don't really know why you would kind of do that, but whatever. Okay, back to this. So now, yeah, we just have to return data. Cool. And now we can. Yeah. We will have this, and we can go to Suki. Dialog data, and there we go. We can put in our name. Suki, I'm just going to say whatever our sprite index is. Dialog, oops. Like that, and I can do the same thing in Scary. Sorry, I just got a big
cough.
fluff in my throat or something.
Probably because you've been talking for 3 hours and we're not used to talking for 5 minutes.
Alright. And I can do the same thing here.
Cool. And then that's gonna make me a struct, yeah?
Sorry. Yes.
So now I can go down. So now that that's made, I can go like...
Oh, sorry. We have to save that as well. So
nice. So that's gonna return... Wait, go back to the...
Yep.
Go back to the code for the the constructor. Wait.
So by the way, if you right click, it should take you to the thing.
Ooh. So wait, so this is inline doing it, right?
Yep.
So okay, cool. And then that's making a thing, and then so now I can be like, so that's made, so I can go, wait. So and you've saved it as dialog underscore data.
Yeah, I could call that whatever I want, like
And now I can like later, like underneath, go like dialog underscore data dot name.
Yeah,
right?
or I can go obj suki dot dialog data dot name.
Cool. And that's gonna return like scary or whatever we put.
Yes.
Oh, Suki, sorry.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep, and so yeah.
So wait, let me do it. So the constructor way to do it would be go to the thing. Okay. So we write. So go down.
Hmm? We're down the bottom, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm writing a new thing, aren't I?
Oh, okay.
So write like, I've forgotten how to do it. As in, I've forgotten the syntax.
So we can actually just copy paste it, pretty much.
Right.
And
But you get rid of.
We actually.
Oh, you write constructor right there. Yes.
Exactly.
And then you get rid of the return and temporary variable thing.
Yeah. There is one more change that we have to make, actually.
Wait, let me totally remember it.
Or two. Well, kind of. And it tells you.
What is it? Unnecessary expression.
Actually, that is not helpful. But it's actually that we are using colons.
What we want?
We actually want to use equals. Because,
oh my God, what?
Yeah, and it's because the constructor, once we've done this, we go into the scope of the thing that we're making, kind of. It's kind of like we are doing a with statement, kind of, with the thing that we're making. So anything that we set in here becomes itself. So if I set x equals 2...
So what were we doing before? We were saying...
We're...
define...
Yeah, that's the syntax for a...
So but what would the colon mean here?
The same thing, I guess.
Well, then why is it different?
I don't know, really. That's just how you do it with the structs, the literal.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. So that's the only thing we have to change. So these commas are not commas anymore. It's kind of like how when you declare an array.
So these are making it more like how you would write stuff, just like as in
an object, like create event, kind of, yeah. Because yeah, that's how we declare data structures. It's like with commas and stuff. That's just how we do it. But with with a constructor, it's kind of like we're now within a new object that we're making, and we can do whatever we want to it. We can set up all the stuff.
Well, that kind of sounds better, actually.
Yeah, sure. It might be clearer. But the thing is, so it might be that you actually have to do some math here, pretend we're doing a more complicated function, and like I have to devote like the first, like 10 lines to doing like complicated sums, and I might not actually end up using any of it in the object, so I might have like, I might be declaring a temporary bean equals, times name, and I'm just doing all this complicated stuff here, and it's kind of less clear what we end up with, kind of. Whereas if we encapsulate everything in a, we do all the math and then we go like, that, and then we say like, that is what we're returning. All the stuff up here was just math. It might be clearer. So that's kind of why.
Wait, so doesn't it, so if you did do all that math, would it return all of those things too?
Yeah, so that's another thing. If you, silly human, did math in here and you forgot to make it a temporary variable, it would now exist on the struct, and there's no way of like chasing that up, kind of. But if it, which I guess is the same problem in the other thing, but it's like that struct isn't existing with a weird variable that you forgot about, which might be more important than if it was here in, yeah. It really depends. I know that sounds very arbitrary and like abstract. Yeah, you just have to kind of make a lot of examples to
get a feeling for it.
To get it, yeah.
I can appreciate that.
But both of these are fine. Like you say, it kind of does make it clearer that like we're in the scope of an object here, kind of like a little object. But yeah, it does the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess the last... I'm going to do one more quick thing. That's cool. And I'm going to do this with items, because I think this is a perfect example for... Oh, no, we'll do it with this. So let's say that we have dialogue data that might be a base class. I'm going to... So let's say we have NPC. And let's say I actually want evil NPC. And maybe I have another thing, like the type of it or something. And what I can actually do is I can kind of inherit from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say our evil NPC is the same as an NPC, and I can pass in all of these things. Dialogue, and then I can go with NPC, and then I can add its type. Is also, by the way, it's a type. It's a type of evil thing. And you know what? We have a function called be evil, and in that way it can kind of inherit from this class over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's very cool, because you can start building like complicated stuff, and it goes back to here. And I really like this way of laying out data.
Could you also like inherit it, but then say change name? I don't know. Like say you wanted, like I don't know. Maybe the text color. Maybe you have text color for good people that,
yep.
and it's like I don't know, blue. And then like for evil, can you inherit it but change the color to be like red?
Yeah, exactly. So we could have color, and we can say, so that requires a color input. But actually we know that all evil NPCs, we're not going to have it specify in here. We know it's going to be red. So we can just put that. So now we don't have to, like, when I make an evil NPC,
okay.
I don't have to specify color.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Like we can set things that we know is true about an NPC or an item. This is another thing that I would use this for. You might like know that the size of this item is always 5 because it's a tool or something. Yeah, and you can set it up like that and start inheriting from a base class and have like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool stuff.
Cool.
And I think after 3 hours, it is about time to start wrapping up the stream.
Yes. Does anybody have any more questions?
Yeah.
Questions.
Do you have any questions?
Looks like what kind of stuff would be outdated?
Yeah, so you don't have to refer to, you can, so I could have done argument 0, 2, 3, 4 and stuff, but you don't have to do that anymore. It can be an actual
So it's not
name.
going to break it.
No, so you'll notice if you import a new project, it will keep all of your old stuff and everything will still be referred to as arguments, but you can go ahead and replace them all with actual wordy variables, which are nicer to use. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else that you... It sounds like they've done a good job of not breaking stuff, but is there anything that you've come across?
There was stuff more in the closed beta. They have been doing a really good job of fixing all of this stuff, and it was things like sometimes when you chained and accessed it together, or I think even like doing that very weird edge case stuff. Like if you're doing a thing inside a function, inside a constructor, inside a struct, then something would break. But nah, it's pretty good. It's pretty safe to use, I would say.
Okay. Nosy's asked, what is programming?
Oh man, we're gonna need another, like at least another 1 hour tutorial for that, but
just 1 hour.
Just, you know,
cover that one.
50.
What is cloud gaming? Is that a thing?
Cloud gaming? Man, I don't know.
Is that like on the cloud?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Gaming on the cloud. That is true. So a few things have been deprecated, like the array. 2D arrays are gone. It's just an array, and you would have an array within an array if you wanted a 2D array.
Oh. Why do you think they've done that? Just because it's arbitrary that they have a 2D one and not
a 3D, okay. 4D. It's just confusing. Yeah.
Fair enough. A few issues with inheritance and static variables and stuff.
Yeah. that makes sense. That's a new thing. We didn't actually talk about that, but you can have a static variable.
Static, so that's like doesn't change?
Kind of. So if I declare static, it probably doesn't make sense in the... Oh, it might. So I might have like a NPC counter equals 0.
What the hell is that? What?
Hold on, let me this out here.
NP... Why'd you...
So I've declared a static variable here, right?
Okay.
NPC counter. Every time this function is called, it should increase NPC counter.
When the function is called?
Yeah, so whenever I call NPC, which would happen
so like when you make a new... Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So this means we are setting it once. It is never kind of run again. So if
it's never run again.
So if I call this 10 times, it doesn't reset it back to 0.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens once.
What's the difference between a static? I don't really get the difference.
Well, if I did this, and then I show debug.
Oh, sorry, that first line was the static line?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I did that, it would reset to... Well, it would be 1 every time because it would always be reset to 0.
So it's like skip this line except for the very first time I run this? Is that...
Yeah, kind of. It's declared once, and then it sits there in memory, like, once.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, just with the chat, DJ, you totally can use anything from my tutorials as you want. Like, I kind of... it's in the public domain, so I consider all that stuff public domain. I don't think you can even chase it up if you wanted to. So yeah, feel free to use it however you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all.
Alright, I think
I'm gonna ask a question on behalf of everybody, because I
Alright.
keep seeing everybody re-asking it.
Oh.
It's like, are you coming back to make more things? Are you gonna stream again? Etc.?
I think it'd be nice to stream again. It's the tutorials that I used to make, it would take me like a week or over a week to make one. And it's rare for me now to have an uninterrupted schedule. And then to edit it, it would take like another week. I didn't used to realize how much time it took to do everything, but it did take a lot of time, and
it was your full-time life.
It kind of was. Like, that's how I was learning everything. And these streams are a lot easier for me because I can just sit down and like, this is as long as it takes. Like, it takes as long to stream. I didn't really prepare for this.
Yeah.
So perhaps something like this in the future might be good, and perhaps if you're interested as well in it, that we could do stuff like this. I think it's quite a fun back and forward. Maybe not this long though. It was a bit long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe stuff like this I could probably do in the coming weeks.
If there's a demand, we just did this because I basically asked Cosmo to teach me about Structs, and we were like, why don't we do this as a stream?
Yeah, that was a good idea.
So if we think of anything, or if someone suggests it, or whatever.
Yeah.
I want a list of corrections for this stream. Oh my god.
Oh, who's doing that?
Sid.
Oh, sweet. Sure. Do you have them on hand? I think, because what I might do, it'd be cool to edit this and then actually post it as a proper video.
You mean it'd be cool for Scary to edit this?
It'd be very cool if Scary did it, yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure I'll find mistakes and then we can change them as well as it's edited. Or I could just unlist this and no one else could ever listen to it again.
Lol. It's exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing with quarantine?
Pretty good, kind of. Like it's not fun at all. Not that good.
But we don't go outside much, do we?
No, I do miss everything. I miss everything and everyone more than I thought I would.
Yeah, like we're in Victoria, and it's like the second wave happened, and so we're like locked down again. We're not supposed to go out, so we can't see like family. We live together, so it's, you know.
Yeah. We've got our housemates and us, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but we're not that. We're very, you know,
we're very fortunate.
Area,
yeah,
really,
we're very fortunate. I work from home.
Yeah.
Sierra does as well.
Stop talking over me. Stop being such a twin.
Yeah. But yeah, it's okay. in the grand scheme of things, none of us are sick. None of us are really in danger anyway, as well. So
yeah,
it's just
awful, like watching what's happening, really, and feeling totally powerless.
Not being able to go outside.
Yeah,
it's not fun. But yeah, hope you guys are doing okay. It's nice to be back on the internet. I've missed doing tutorials. I feel very guilty every time someone asks if I'm doing them still.
Yeah, you guys are lovely. You're all like, oh my god, Cosmo, you're the reason I'm making games.
Yeah, I feel
when's
so
your
bad.
next tutorial? And she's just like...
I feel so bad. Especially because I think a lot of my old tutorials are... I feel like they're kind of obsolete. Like if I was going to... Well, I would redo them anyway, but especially with the new language stuff.
Because there's better ways to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about listing a lot of them.
I mean, some of them could be just easy, like, to learn, so that's always valuable.
Some of them are okay, but I don't know, like the farming RPG I'm thinking of taking down.
Oh, what? But everybody loves that. That's all I see.
I know, but...
Cosmo, I love your farming RPG tutorials. Don't take them down.
I won't take it down until it's replaced with something. That's what I kind of mean. So if perhaps I can drum up enough streams to make, like... little thing, because so much of that, by the way, because that's what I'm making at the moment, is a farming RPG, but so much of it is data stuff, and it is this stuff. It's like we've been making constructor like functions for everything now, like tools, all the tools that we have, all of the items that we have, all the objects, everything is kind of a struct and exists as a struct.
Cool.
So I would redo everything.
Be cool if you guys could do like devlogs.
Perhaps that's a thing that might be on the table.
Don't make me redo the farming RPG.
Maybe it would be a different one. I'd kind of like to do not a farming RPG because that's what I'm working on. Maybe it can be more of an RPG, like action, or a platformer. I've never done one of those actually, but that might be fun. Maybe even like an RTS or something, you know?
Okay. You should make an MMORPG.
Even states though, because that was a pretty good video, but
I like that.
It's like you can do it differently now to be even cooler. Like you can have it if a state is a struct, that means that the variables of the state you can make it so they only exist in this when a state is active, and then get deleted. So you don't have like dash counter existing on the object itself. It can exist on the struct, and then when you're not in that state, it's gone, kind of thing. So it cleans up a lot of stuff. That's how I would do it now, but it's quite different. Make an MMO. Yep, could do that. Take 10 years, but totally.
But yeah, all right. Well. This has been fun. Thanks for teaching me about structs. It was actually good.
Yeah. Nosy, we should... we should totally make some...
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Would love to. Okay, I think it's time to wrap up. Good luck, everyone, with this stuff. When it properly comes out, perhaps there will be more changes to discuss. I think I might try and edit this down into a proper video, but it was very nice hanging out with everyone.
Stream the entire development. That'd be awful.
Yeah. Hope you are all doing okay. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, talking to everyone. By the way, if you're not on the GameMaker like Discord, or Twitter or something, you know, like totally feel free to jump in and at me or whatever. It's nice to be together in times like this and stuff. So yes. Thanks so much for coming. See you next time, and I hope not too far away.
Yeah. We'll try to think of something.
Yeah.
Alright, bye guys.
Alright, bye-bye.